Last season, it was a season of the dark horse when Alma finally did what he said he was going to do for about 20 seasons and win pros. So well done to him, but now it's a new season. Alma's ran away to the American side because I hear it's a lot easier, apparently. So he's going trying to do the double. Luckily, we have some really good returning coaches back for this season. One of those is my guest today who's going to help me with a recap, and that is Firian. Good morning, Firian.
Good morning, Bernie. You all right?
I'm impressed, mate. You've just come back from Turkey, like yesterday. Obviously,
last
you've
night.
had your sleep, and mate, I'll do the recap with you. That is really impressive.
The missus is out looking for a wedding dress, so they're getting married next year, so she's doing that. So I'm leaving her to do that, and then I'm free.
That's win-win then, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Problem is though, when you're married, mate, that's it. Bloodbowl's gone, mate. So you better win it. You might have to win it this season, or maybe the season after. So it's interesting. We decided to do Europe because obviously, apart from Firian and me are in the European side of things, obviously we think the Americans will all be asleep. So it just made more sense, just in case any Europeans wanted to pop in and say hi. It's a bit different how they do it last season and this season. There used to be a lot of divisions, now there's only 2. And the thing with European, because the European guys are really, really cool, we have loads of players who want to play, and what happens is the Americans pinch some of our better players, but we still end up with more than 8 teams. So what happens, as you can see, we've got 10 teams here, and we play the first 7 weeks. So each of us coaches will miss two teams, and it's just the luck of the draw who you miss. And as we go through every single team, we'll talk about the schedule, the team, the players, and obviously what Firian thinks and all that stuff as well.
Yep.
So we're going to go left to right. So the first team we will have a look at will be the Los Pumas. Disco Dave obviously won it in season 4. Wow, a very long time ago. Jesus. Obviously, Smurf was the guy who was the one who basically led this team for a long time. He actually retired. And then it was what was his other guy he had? Juan Jaro? He got killed last season as well. So the 2 sort of big stars with the ball, one retired, one dead. And this is a massive rebuild going on. But, you've got to respect Disco. He's been here since season 4. A lot of coaches would see the team and go, you know what, I'm done. I can't do out with this team. But, he's one of those, obviously, loves his franchises. He loves the Pumas. And, he can never write him off. That's a good thing about former champions. They're all very good. But I mean, looking at this team though, what do you think, Firian? It's a bit worse where no Smurf, no Juan Jaro, and obviously their best player's injured first game as well.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the team, like Dougal 07 is a very nice player, very nice blitzer. Mm-hmm. If he can keep him in action, he will be one to watch. They've got the new blitzer, Nassim Hamed, who's also AG4. So, Again, a ball carrier. But they're going to be relying on inducements heavily to compete in the Pro League this season. But I guess that does give you an advantage in that you can kind of tailor your approach to each game. And, you can take a wizard when you need it. You can take Morg potentially if you need him. So that does give Disco an advantage in being able to adapt to either playing AG teams or mostly Bash teams as this league is this year.
Yeah, I mean, hi DeMarco, nice to see you. It's a funny one, isn't it? The team's pretty bashed, but they've still got Larry down there, even though he's got a niggle, he's still going strong. I just look at this team and think, Crazy Legs and John Alumu, they're going to have the work out for him because they'll have to sort of like do the work. Obviously, Juan Jaro and, Laser Smurf used to do, and they're not in the same league yet as them players. I mean, it's just a battered team. I think if inducements work and he gets the right inducements, he's got a chance. The Wizards okay, but again, when Mr. C comes back, and obviously he's got Rip coming back as well, when they're back, he's not really going to have much in the way of inducements against a lot of these teams. So it's basically, look, you can take a Wizard, no problem, but guess what? You're not going to have a bench. And against like a lot of these very brutal teams, and even the Lizard team's got quite a bit of mighty blow. He could get, with him being AV8, and a few of these guys, especially, Mr. C when he comes back is AV7. He's going to have to decide, look, do I want a Wizard or do I want to, like, get a bench or, it's going to be tricky. I can't see really. I think it could be. I think this is a rebuilding season. I think that'd be the fairest thing to do. I can still see him pulling off a shock or two because he's a good coach. But you would think over 7 games, it might be a bit too much for him. But we'll see. I
mean, he's a very experienced coach.
Yeah.
Which is like obviously something that goes in his favour, maybe against players who've got better teams but are less experienced.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be tough for them this season. And I think the main thing will just be how many players do they have by the end of the season. With those 87 players, they're going to be big targets, and they're generally the better players as well. Larry having a niggle as well, it could easily just, first couple of games could end up losing those players, either MNG or just getting permanent stat downs, and then that's going to be a real struggle to carry on after that.
Totally. Hi, Gedley. How proud? Yeah, I'm still dying, mate. Obviously, my missus works as a key worker, and she deals with loads of illnesses and stuff, and I'm amazed I ain't had COVID yet, to be honest. The stuff she does. I've had everything but, so I should be happy, I guess. But yeah.
Looking at the schedule as well.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at that schedule in a minute. I just want to ask you one thing before that. Who is the key player on this team? For this team to have a good season, which player are they leaning on?
Honestly, looking at it, I mean, Mr. C is obviously there for... I think it's going to be a combination of Mr. C and Nassim Hamed. If we can keep those 2 players fit with the AG4, they're going to be the ones that are going to be moving that ball and making those kind of dodges and sack attempts, maybe. Yeah. I can see them being really key. If he loses either of them, or for example, like in the first game, is missing one, it's going to make it a lot more tricky. Because, like we said, looking at the pool, it's quite bash heavy. That means the humans will play a more agility-based game, and having those AG4 pieces is kind of going to be key to that.
Yeah, I personally think Larry is the key to this team. I was going to go with Dougal because I like Dougal, strength 4, movement 8. But I think, like you said, with all the bash, he needs something to hold the middle. And Larry has been an absolute superstar. He's probably my favourite player on this team. And he's just a beast. Obviously, he has got a niggle, what is a concern, but he is still AV9. So, apart from against Claw, you'd like to think his armour will hold him. And I personally think, if Larry can keep fit and play majority of the games, that'll certainly help on his quest to make the playoffs. Squeak Sandwich Kiosk is his inducement. 64 wins, 30 draws, 73 losses. So he hasn't got a positive record. I'm in to see how he does without Smith, because I think NTB had this thrown at him a lot, where they said, "Look, you won 2 titles because of point and click with your gutters." I think that's a bit harsh. Maybe it's just banter. I don't know. Obviously, Pumas won it with Smith. Smith's not there anymore. I think this is a good chance for Disco to say, "Look, we're better. We're not a one-man team, and we're going to prove it this season." But I do think he could struggle. Let's have a look at his schedule, like you said, then. So first week, that's not a badish game, Underground Souls.
Yeah, I mean, it's not dreadful, but there is a big... I think the Underground Souls, if I remember, have a claw.
2 claw, I think.
Yeah, so that's going to be... Larry is potentially going to be targeted by the claw troll.
Yeah.
Like we said before, another experienced coach, Shaky. So it's not going to be a super easy game for him to start with. And then he's got you in week 2.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what I've got left, I guess. I suppose you could say the same about me and Disco. It depends what we've got left in week 2, because we're both against claw teams. So he's got me week 2, so that's at home. So he's got 2 home games to start with. And then he's got, who's he got after that? He's got
another
Saints.
Home game.
Yeah, so he's getting all the home games, more out Saints. So that's not bad. He won't worry about that, I don't think. Week 4's a trouble, though, for him. The Silver Suns away. So his first away game is against Azek and them killers. So, you've got to play close sometime. Then he's got Tape Tigers. So he plays the Chaos teams back to back. Oh, I'm sure by week 6 he's going to be so happy. Week 6 he plays the Reptile Heavyweights. What are you, I do believe. So
that is my team.
I think he might not even have any. He might have 11 learners by the time he plays you. And by week 7, if he's still in with a chance of the playoffs, he will have to get a result against reptilian people. So he plays back-to-back Chaos and back-to-back Lizards. So
he does. I mean, he avoids the Beastie Boys, and he avoids the River Rats. So he avoids kind of one Agi team and one Bash team. But I could just. The thing is, I can see Disco winning some of these earlier games, but once he gets to Azek and Badger, he might not have a team left for the playoffs at that point. Yeah. He might win those games, but he might end up, finishing top 3, but be so low on players that, and also he's got no cash. Looking at his team, he's got 0 gold, so he's going to be relying on getting some good rolls to get some cash to be able to get some players in. I think so. He loses a couple of blitzers, and he's going to be in trouble. Yeah,
I mean, I'm in the same boat as him with 0 cash. I know how worrying it is. He's got no bench out there. He'll have loaners. So, like we said at the beginning, the inducements are going to be huge. Yeah. I can't see it. I can see, I think I agree with you that he's good enough to get wins. Even wins, people might think, I didn't think he'd get one there. But I can't see him making the playoffs. I think he's probably going to look, if I can get through this season with the team I've got, or close to the team I've got, get a few level ups, get some cash, bring in a new signing, that'll be classed as a good season for him. But, this could be the end. This could be the last season for the Pumas, because if this goes badly wrong, I kid you not, there might not be much left of the team, because it's already not much left now. And if he was to lose a few more, then I don't know. He'd need a medalist to come back next season if his team got wiped. But that's the lost.
I think I could see him being kind of mid-table.
It could
If he's got a healthy team by the end of the season, I think he'll be happy.
Yeah, you'd be more worried about the coach than the team, though, wouldn't you? Now. But we'll see. Bloodbowl is a funny game. Right, Welsh River Rats then. Hawker. TIFF Tigers pulled off a shock last game of the season against them, when everybody just about expected the Rats to beat him and have a great chance to make the playoffs. But he got beat, so there you go, 1-0, so that's interesting. But apart from that, that blip, and we all can have blips like that, he had a great season. He had a really good season. He beat the Pumas 2-0, he beat the Saints, he stuffed the Obs, he beat the Beasts, he drew with the Souls, he drew with the Geddon. It was a really, really good season, and it was just one of those games where everybody expects you to win, and obviously close starts firing and other things start going wrong, and you can quickly lose. So 4 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. It was a good season. I think personally, looking at his team, it's pretty good. And the TV value is only 1650. So I think he's trying to make it that he can get a wizard, and this team with a wizard with a 1-turner. Not that he needs a point and click 1-turner, but it always helps if you got one. I think this is a team what's going to be a massive danger to most teams this season, if, yet again, you can keep them healthy. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, looking at the River, actually, they've got 13 players as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite TV efficient, because they've got those linemen to whack on the line, and they're going to go down. Like, they're going to get hit with Mighty Blow, probably piling on as well. So you're going to lose linemen, but he's got enough that he can put on the LOS and go, I'm going to get some hits, that's fine. The players he's got as kind of his more, his positionals, he's got Claw, Mighty Blow, Storm Vermin, that's perfect. He's got the MV10 Gutter Runner. He's got a Saka Gutter Runner with horns. He's got a big hands guy to go in and pick up the ball. Like, it's a really well-balanced team. And he's got those kind of gutters set up perfectly for each of their roles. And I think especially, there is a lot of bash, as we kind of mentioned, but, he's got sidestep, he's got a few wrestle and fend and stuff as well. So he can kind of keep those follow-ups and stuff at bay. And then it would just be a case of how the AV7 holds up. But Hawker, very experienced coach. I'm sure he knows how to keep his players kind of out of bashing. So, limit them to a blitz a turn, and you can only take so many casualties, if that makes sense. Like, so I think it's a really nice team. And, a few games in, you get a bit of development in there. This team could be amazing. And a lot of the more inexperienced coaches might struggle to deal with kind of how annoying gutter runners are. you set up a cage or you set up like a kind of a screen and they just run through it anyway. It doesn't even matter. It's not even a problem.
Yeah,
So
I
think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, he's got the speed and he other goods. He's got the one turner and he's got two claw pieces. So he hasn't got any guard apart from the right organ. I mean, that's the only weakness I see on this team. But I mean, he was so close to getting through last season, and I think he'll want to put that right. Alma wants to join. Do we have room for a champion? Really? Do we have room for an MML champion?
I don't know if we can deal with him.
I don't know. Can his head fit through the door? That's the thing. Just give me a sec then, Alma. See what we can get him in. See what the champ has to say. This is where I'll take an age now trying to find him because he'll be hidden or something like that. Yeah, I knew he would be. So he can prey on all those sea ladder teams. Let's have a look. See if we can find him. There he is. Alma forever. Right, bang. Get the champ in. Boom. But yeah, the only negative I've got with Hawker, and he's going to tell me off for this, and I'll never live it down, but sometimes he's too overconfident. I saw him in the challenge ladder in the playoffs, and he should have won that. And he just I don't know, he just got a bit complacent. I think I saw him last season against the team as well, where he just came across as complacent. He will say it's not. He'll say it's more to do with, look, I'm confident in the way I do my shit, and this is how I do it, and this is why I win loads of games, Bernie. But sometimes it can blow up in your face, and when it does, it just looks bad. And like I said, we'll see how he actually deals with it. Hello, how are we?
Hey, I'm good, mate. How are you? Who's in the booth?
We've got Vivian in the booth with us.
Oh,
indeed.
Oh, hello, mate. I've never spoken to you before. Benny's spoken to me far too much.
We were just like, quick, let's get on before Alma's here. Quick, let's do it. And then like, oh no!
I've noticed I'm having conversations with Bernie sometimes, like pestering him on Discord, and then he'll suddenly go offline while still talking to me. I'm like, wait, what's this?
I keep myself offline most time now because I mean, like I said, I work very well, and I've been asleep most of yesterday, and I came back and I had like 50 odd messages, and everyone was like, where you gone? You weren't responding to me. I'm like, oh my god, it's like, look,
I'll just be one sec, chaps.
Okay, no worries. So it was
what
crazy.
have I missed?
We've talked about the Lost Pumas, and we said we think
that must have been a quick talk.
we had about 11 minutes. We did it well. We did it proud,
More minutes than players.
Well, it is what it is. I think it's a rebuilding season. I think we all said that.
Disco 10 Rand said he's been rebuilding since season 5.
Well, there you go then. Full credit to him. But we just said there's no Juan Jara this season. There's no Smurf this season.
Thank God.
So he's got to, as I said, NTB won 2 championships, and people say you won them because you had point and clicks. Well, it's a bit unfair, but then people are saying, look, what can Disco do without Smurf? And that's where we got to. I think possibly a lot better. Well, sometimes it can work like that, isn't it? Because like when you have a one turner and you rely too much on it, don't you? You think, oh, he's gonna get me out of trouble. And then when he doesn't,
Disco definitely did. Mate, I played him, I think, 4 seasons in like I had a break obviously, but I played in 2 seasons, first game of the season, and then 2 more seasons, the first game when I came back.
Yeah.
And the actual time he actually beat me, and I was like, okay, fair enough, was the time he didn't have Smurf, so he kind of seems to play better.
Yeah, how it works. We're just talking about Hawker's team, Welsh River Rats. I think hey, nice one, Varian. We're just talking about obviously Welsh River Rats. What do you think, Alma? I mean, obviously Hawker's one of our clan mates, so we're obviously doing well. I basically said his weakness, and I'm going to get in trouble for this, is sometimes can
He's
be
cocky.
like, yeah, complacent.
Cocky.
I put it complacent. I was trying to be saying complacent. You say cocky, and I went back to that challenge ladder game in the playoffs, what he should have won, and he didn't.
Yeah, it's potato, that though, isn't it? His confidence and his cockiness make him pull off the really good plays and then bite him on the arse sometimes. So.
I mean, when it works, and I would say majority of the time it does work, but when it goes wrong, it looks so wrong. But I like this team. I think he's got 1650, so a lot of the times he's going to be able to get a wizard, and obviously he's got 2 claw pieces. He's got a point and click one turner, not that he obviously needs one. And he's got a bench.
Not natural.
It's not point and click. No, it's not got sprint.
Well, all right, I haven't got sprint. It's one push.
I don't think Hawker likes natural one-turners.
Well, he's probably one of the best one-turners I know. So doesn't. So, but
I mean, he's not far off. He just needs a push and he's away. So and he's got sidestep, so it's not too difficult.
That's easy mode for Hawker. He hasn't got an enhancement yet. What's interesting, looking at what he's got first week. If I go all the way back to it, first week, who does he have? Oh, Reptilian People. So that's gonna be an interesting game. That's something against Dragoon.
Did he play last season?
I don't think they did. That didn't sound very confident, did I? Let me have a look.
I know Dragoon missed, like, if you want to say the big boys, he missed a few of them last season, I think.
He didn't play him. No, he didn't play him.
No, I don't think he played me. I don't think he played Hawker.
But obviously, the Rats will play the People first up.
Yep.
I think that's a good matchup for the Rats. I think he'll like that. I think Hawker will like chewing on them skinks. After that, he's got. Oh, what's he got? Let's have a look. He's got the Silver Suns, so he gets to play Azek. That could be tasty. But again, you see, the speed and the position of Hawker might get it done if he has enough players left.
Yeah. The only thing I would say about Hawker...
Go on,
didn't play, did he?
No,
I was just going to say he's got no tackle. The Rats have no tackle at all, which could be a problem against the Skinks, but anyway.
Yeah, I always think that people just rolling powers, you know. So he's got Silver Sun, so that's an interesting one. He follows that up with who we got now. Oh, well, you seem to be doing quite well, don't you, Fareed? You seem to be playing teams after they played the kill team. So you are, you know. I mean, I wouldn't mind a bit of that, you know. So obviously the Rats go through a kill team and run into the Reptile Heavyweights.
Wait there, Bernie.
I've got the kill team first, though, Bernie. So I don't have a team left.
Good point. It just balances out the TV. You're losing the first game.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's got obviously you week 3. That'll be a good game. And then he's got who's he got? Oh, I can't see him. Oh, then he's got the Beastie Boys in week 4. I think they played together in the week 3. Then he's got where are we? Oh, he's got that'll be a good one against Shaky Dog in week 5. Oh, that'll be an amazing game. Then week 6 he has the Tape Tigers, and then finally, if he needs to win in week 7, he goes against the Dwarfageddon. Hawker, I get to play Hawker again. Last season we played the first game. This season we played the last game, and now because we're wanting to go into the last game.
Last season you kind of settled for the draw.
Yeah.
Kind of from early. Yeah. I can't actually remember watching it. Because I actually think you could have probably pushed. Yeah, but you could have pushed for the win there.
Yeah, I was really ill, wasn't I? If you remember going up to that, and I was like, oh my god, I expected if I could scrape out there with a draw, I'll take it. And yeah, I look at it different from other people. It's all about people's mindset. I go for what I think will help in the long run. So I was like, Hawker's probably the best coach I'm going to play against. So if I can get a draw against him, then I'm in a pretty good spot. So sometimes I will play like very, conservative. But yeah, I mean that's an interesting one. We get to play each other week 7. So who does he miss is what we want to know. He will miss the Mod Hell Saints. And he will miss... Who else does he miss? He misses the Pumas.
Fidian?
No, he misses Pumas.
Oh yeah, he plays Fidian after
the kill team.
As a kills his team, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So I think Hawker's actually missing most of the agi team, like the more agility-based teams. He's playing most of the bash.
With not having tackle, it's not the worst thing in the world.
It's not the worst thing, but I think, no disrespect to them two coaches, they would be two coaches with the teams they've got he'd have wanted to play against. I'm sure he'd swap them for, say, like an Azek. But, it is what it is. It's a look of the draw.
Is Azek becoming an adjective now?
I don't know.
An Azek. You don't know to say an Azek.
Oh my god, I've just done an Azek.
We ain't got Juan this season, have we? So we've got to have done an Azek. Going back to the Welsh Rats again, I'll go to you first, Firian. Which is the key play for this team if they're going to make the playoffs?
Oh, it's difficult because I think this team is actually really well balanced. I don't think they kind of have a real like star player in the same way that some of the other teams do. Obviously, you look at the MV10 Gutter Runner is kind of awesome. The Rat Ogre as well. You know, he's got Claw, Mighty Blow, Block. He's got Thick Skull, which is a bit of a weird one, but it does make sense because you know he's got.
How many times the Rat Ogres get knocked out?
Yeah.
Well, I guess in this league with a lot of claw and stuff, he's going to be taking a lot of hits. He's going to be a big target, so it might be a not a bad take. Actually,
I had 6 KOs on a Rat Ogre once in one game.
Wow. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, so who anyone particularly you think, or are you just going to say it's just too balanced? He just doesn't have a key player.
Yeah, I think maybe the MV10 Gutter is obviously going to do a lot of work with the ball, but each player is kind of has their own. None of them is going to win the game by themselves, but as a whole, the whole team is like very well balanced.
Alma, do you agree, or you got a guy who's going to be a key player?
I haven't seen the way he plays the Rogue is really important because it's the only. I've got to say it's the only reliable piece, even though it's bloody unreliable. It's the only piece that he can actually rely on to get the blitzes when he needs it. Because with some of the guard in this division, i.e. your team, well, both your teams actually, you can just lock them down. He literally will not be able to throw a block without doing crazy dodging or committing the gutters. The Rogue is the only thing you can actually hit with a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I've seen him play, and he kind of does try to like shield it as well. Whereas a lot of people actually leave the Rogue hanging out of it.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm gonna not shock anybody here. I'm gonna go with number 2, Lash Cut. The Storm Vermin, more reliable than Rat Ogre. He's got the speed of the gun, so he can hit the soft targets on the outside of the opposing team, or Hawk is one of those guys who'll take what you give him. So if you put your chaff in front as a screen, he ain't bothered. He'll just keep taking them.
He's a bit like Gerd in that way.
Yeah. So
Gerd does the same thing. He'll just pick off the rubbish and then basically get hits on the proper stuff later.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, he hasn't got the guard apart from obviously Rat Ogre, and I know the Rat Ogre is very important. I think we'd all sleep easy if the Rat Ogre died. But unfortunately, sometimes we get what we want.
You'll have thingy for quite a few games. You'll either have a wizard or depending on how his team develops, you can maybe even have a wizard and thingy for a lot of them. The Clove Vermin. What's his name? Gloth.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
He does like Gloth as well.
Yeah. What's not to like with Juggernaut as well? When I saw this schedule, the first thing what sprang to mind was Serious Jest. Now, Serious Jest obviously made the finals, as we know, obviously 2 seasons ago.
My first game of the season.
Yeah, but we looked at it, didn't we? And we thought, oh man, Jesty, one of the top teams in the American division, but man, he has the worst schedule. And when I look at Hawker, I'm like one of the best coaches easily in the division, but man, that is not a good schedule. You know,
it's not what you would have picked.
Yeah, he could win all them games, but all them games he's gonna be like, ugh.
I'll give you the spin point on it, mate. A little bit like myself sometimes. Hawker plays better the better the coach is playing.
Yeah, I think
because I think the complacency thing kicks in less. Because if you look at like his results, the better coaches, he's got better results versus than some of the weaker coaches or weaker teams that he's played. I think if he goes in going, this is easy. You've seen it in Clan with him sometimes. He's like, oh, I've got this, and he's like, oh crap, and then he'll play a really good coach and he'll beat him.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's you know, I'm the same to a certain extent. Where if it's a big game or something, I'll be up for it. I think it's not for me. It's not being cocky. It's more like burnout a lot. Because obviously, I'm still playing a lot now, and sometimes you sort of think against an easy opponent or a opponent you think you should win, you try and not go 100%. You try and kind of get away with going at 60, 70, you know, and save some of that mental energy. That's the way I look at it as. I mean,
that sounds like me and Clan yesterday, mate. I was bloody awful. I even forgot it was turn 16.
You know, but that's what we all do, because when you play, that's what I do. I mean, I played quite a lot. You know, and the other thing as well is a lot of the lesser players do stuff you don't expect them to do. They shouldn't do it because it's not the right call, but they do it anyway, and it comes off. And you know, against a lot of the good coaches, you know exactly what they're gonna do. You know exactly the way they play. You know what they're gonna do. You know what they're gonna class as a risky set or something. So
I was
you can
going to
get a
say
better
it's called
feel.
the X Factor, but in the spirit of Cladder, it's called the Matt H Factor. When he'll just do something and you're like, what
And
the
if it comes
hell?
off, yeah.
Why is he doing it? Why is he doing it?
So,
And basically you're not expecting it, so it works sometimes.
Yeah. Good record, 16 wins, 7 draws, 6 losses. Like I said, bar an absolute kaboom, and the Rat team goes and gets destroyed. They should be up there or thereabouts. Good coach, good team, inducements.
Gotta say something as well, mate. If you remember his first ever league game in Challenge League, and his team, it was the first Brazov's Nurgle, and it was absolutely destroyed. Yeah. And I mean, like, it was knocked down to basically a reborn level, like 1K team for his next game for the rest of the season, and he's basically built up a fresh team in the league. Because it was really ripped apart.
Yeah, it was. But again, this is the pros, and there's some serious teams. And the problem he's got is that he doesn't get a breather really, does he? It's good team after good team, and I think almost every single team have got foulers or pommers or mighty blow pommers and tackle, and so it's going to be interesting what he has when it comes to week 7. I mean, we can say that about every team, obviously. But obviously, with a lot of these being AV7 and a lot of the Rats are at Agility 3, if they get based up a lot, they can't, how many times do we see them dodge away and kill themselves on a field dodge? So it'll be interesting to see, I think. But again, I still think he's one of the top coaches in the division, and barring a disaster, he should be there. Talking about top coaches, Shaky Dog and Underground Souls are next. When is this guy going to get a break with Dice? Goes as well, comes to the playoffs, and doesn't matter if it's blitz, it doesn't matter if it's pros, doesn't matter what it is. He seems to lose with bad dice. He never seems to get outplayed very often when he comes to the playoffs. And surely, one of these days he's going to get a decent run with the dice, or just normal dice. I think he'd take normal dice, and maybe he could become the next pro champion. He
wants to phone NCB up.
Yeah.
NCB's dice for the season. Please borrow your dice for the playoffs.
Yeah, then they'll probably win. But again, I mean, obviously, Underground Souls, very good team. They've been around for a long time. Very impressed. As always, I'm glad I'm not playing against them. Some would say maybe, some would say maybe he's the best coach in the division. That would be a valid thing. And like I said, he's got a bit of claw. He's got obviously Temple, the Skaven Blitzer. He's got the Monument, the Thrower. It's just a real nice balanced team. He's got Nat K in the bank as well. And
He's got that bloody Goblin as well, mate. Oh, Jesus Christ. I have nightmares over that Goblin.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a nightmare. We'll go with you, Alma, first. Then what do you think? Then you tell me about this team. What do you think?
First of all, I'll just say about the coach. Shaky, really, really good coach. I think I've played him 2 or 3 times. I think I played him twice, and we basically split it. Once he beat me, once I beat him. Blah 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 blah. They're always really good games, though, and he just knows how to play Underworld. I think Underworld are one of them teams where you're either pretty crap with them or you're very good with them. I don't think there's any in between. You don't have he's an okay Underworld player. You'll either get battered or you do really well, and he's just one in that category, like a stunty coach. He just knows how to play them, and they're a nightmare to play against, but really fun as well. And it's the second season thing. Every other season, Shaky has an awful season, and then he bounces back the next season, has a really good one. Last season he was awful, the season before he was great, season before that awful, season before that great, so he's due one. It's just a nice team.
I mean, who do you think's the key play for this team then?
I was going to say the Goblin, because Jesus Christ, when he's on fire, he basically just wins games. In reality, probably the Troll. When the Troll goes out in games, Shaky tends to struggle. If the Troll stays in the game, then all the other players basically kind of stay in the game because the Troll draws the attention. Once the Troll goes out, you can start picking them off. I think when I played them last season, I took the Troll out quite early, and then just spent the entire half okay, I'll remove that player, player. And there's yourself, there's Firion, there's Azek, who are good players at targeting people when you need to.
But he's not playing two of them, so he doesn't get to play two of them teams. So that's going to be a bonus.
That's a very big bonus. Which two doesn't he play? Doesn't play you, does he?
No,
doesn't
and he
play.
doesn't play Furion. Doesn't play Furion.
Oof. That changes it a bit, actually. Yeah, I think he'll be there or thereabouts. Yeah. I think he starts the season versus Disco as well, doesn't he?
He does.
Which was, I think, from what I remember last season, it was an absolutely crazy game. That was like 3-3 or something like that, and they were both. Basically, it was like watching two stunty teams, but with normal-sized people. It was like really weird. But yeah, Shaky, he's just like he's somebody I talk to quite a bit in like private and stuff like that, and he's just a really good coach. He knows. Yeah. He knows Underworld, but he knows all the races as well, because if you see him play, he'll choose a race in Cladding and he'll qualify whenever he wants, so he's just good, basically. Yeah.
He's got enough ult as well, what will always help when he's at home.
I don't know whether it will do that. No. You got the cheap players, haven't you, still?
It's got cheap players. He can get like 10k and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, so even if he's the overdog, he basically just picks up the thingy and goes, no, you've got to buy the expensive ones.
The enough ultra is for both players, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but in that case, Shaky's TV is already 1820. He's got a Goblin to come back, so he's going to be about 1880. Yeah. I don't see many other teams in this league apart from Azek who are higher TV than that. So maybe, like, if you play Disco first, Disco's going to have 500 of inducements, and his star player is going to cost 50k less.
Yeah, but then Shaky can get boomed as a boomer, the bomber.
Yeah, the bomber dribbles off 10k, and he gets to this. But against Los Pumas is at home, so there will be no Knuckles Alter there. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But even when he's the overdog, he can spend like 60k. I think it is, and get 2 star players, can't he?
He can, yeah.
Because of that, so yeah.
Value.
And then you're taking them away from the opponent, being able to get them when he plays first, I think.
I just retract that statement. Underground Souls actually are at home. I thought there was a way. I thought we had Pumas at home every game, but no. So Souls, yes, so he is right. So there will be Knuckles Alter in play. That could be big. I mean, will we see Griff? Give it to Griff. Good luck getting the ball off him. So that should be interesting. Let's have a look at his December.
He might fight the halfling again, mate.
No. I mean, that was interesting. Yeah. I say no about that. Underground Souls then against Pumas week 1, week 2 he has. Who does he have? Let's have a look. The Beastie Boys. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Week 3. Who's he got? Tave Tigers. Yeah, I'm liking him in that matchup.
He lost the badge last year.
Then he's got. Did he?
He did. Last game.
Tiff Tigers like to upset people, don't they?
I think Badger also beat Hawker last year as well.
Yeah.
Underground Souls against Modal Saints in week 4. Then they've got Welsh River Rat, so that's tricky. Week 5, but again, it depends what's left for both teams. Then he's got the Reptilian People in week 6. In fact, and he gets lovely Azek week 7. Oh, bless him. That's a nice end.
To be honest, you look at all them games up until week 7, and you're like, yeah, I think he can win that. I think he can win that. I think he can win that. If he manages to do that, week 7, he just basically induces as many goblins as he can do, and just keep on escaping on the bench. Just kill them. It's SPP, Azek. You'll like that.
And you've got to remember as well, Azek, very similar to like I was last season, my last game, Azek came out quite publicly against the Chort and said, look, I'm bothered about the result. I really am. I just want to have a fit team for, the playoffs. So he might turn around and say, you know what, Shaky, if you need to win and add up, hey, look, I ain't going to risk anything.
There's a decent chance that, like, if Shaky just goes into that, what I call the fire talker corner of the pitch, and just, like, gathers all his players there, like, Azek will just leave him alone.
Probably, he'll just say, cheers, and, I mean, you don't want to see that, but, at the end of the day, there is tactics, and it's a valid
tactic. Mate, he'll play to win, he always does.
I can see Shaky in 6-0-0, and then that last game he just needs to keep his players fit for the playoffs, and that'll be it. And if he needs to do that, he'll do it. Like, it'd just be...
Well, that would be the smart choice, but I don't know. I think Shaky's probably still the last. Sorry, I'm going to go up to 7. I don't know. But I look at that and I think Hawk could be a problem. And obviously week 7, depending what the Suns need, could be a problem. But again, I think if I'm Shaky Dog and I'm looking at this fixture list, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy out the.
What I'll say, mate, is on paper I say, you could easily go 6-0. But it's Underworld.
Yeah.
And they'll have one of them games when goblins can't dodge, or the troll just constantly rolls 1 basically he'll have one or two of them games, so he'll drop points. You know what I mean? He won't go 6-0. He might if a really great season, he might go 5-1 or something like that. At that point, and then the Azek game is just a horrible one for him because Azek's built the team kind of to counter elves, mate.
Well, he tries. He keeps trying. He keeps trying. It ain't working, but he keeps trying.
The funny thing is, mate, your dwarfs next time you play Azek, they'll all be coming out with these pointy ear costumes and long hair. Or like, why are they wearing goth makeup and smoking clove cigars? These dwarfs.
Why are they wearing heels? But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. But the thing is, though, we're all saying, "Oh, it could be terrible. Oh, it could be terrible against Azek." But you know, there's nothing to say that week 7 Azek might have lost 2 claw pieces or even 3. And all of a sudden, you're like, you know, if you haven't got any claw, we're all going, yeah, give me Azek, I'll take Azek, no claw, no problem. You know, so we don't know how.
There's nothing to say first offensive series. If Shaky receives, he removes 2 people with claw.
Yeah. So you know, we're looking at the worst case scenario, but you know, you've got sometimes, you know. I mean, just the way you look at it, week 7 could be really good, or it could be really bad. His team could be battered, or it could be even more powerful. You just don't know, do you? I mean,
well, the week before he plays the Beastie Boys, Azek, so he could, you know, there's some claw there. He could end up, you know, losing a few players or be missing a few.
We know that
Overkill likes the
foul.
I wonder where he got that from.
I have no idea. Right,
scream out, foul more.
Right, let's get on to the good old Big Badger, who could probably have 11 claw and never be called the kill team. Yes, he has a wonderful superhero power that he can have as much killy stuff as ever and still be right. What a lovely team that is.
Mate, that's because like you'll spend like 7 turns like clawing the hell out of you, right? Piling on, blah 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 blah. I noticed actually Badger never really chooses pile on though.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen him with a pile on player, even in farm.
See, that's the magic then, isn't it? It's like, look, I ain't got no pile on, I ain't no killer, I just got claw.
I don't think he ever does a transfer either, which is really weird.
Well, this is the point.
He farms more than anybody I've seen. Yeah. And he doesn't actually transfer. And he's got bloats as well, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got 230k. So, positive, if someone dies, I got loads of money to obviously replace him. It does give him bloat. But surely, with 230k in the bank, anybody else would be like, yeah, I'm going to bring someone in. Surely he brings someone in with 230k.
Should have brought a killer in, shouldn't he, really?
No, he should have brought in like some nice Beastman loaners or something, you know, like.
No, if you look at he's got 2 ball carrying Beastman. He should have brought a claw palmer in.
Don't give him ideas. People might start calling him a kill team.
You know, he could have got Chaos Warrior with some tents and guard and stuff as well. Yeah. You know, just something to boost that Chaos Warrior up an extra level.
Even like a strength 4 guard Beastman or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the team, I mean, obviously he's got 230k. I'm not exactly sure if he cuts it or he doesn't, because I just don't have a clue what he does, to be honest. Quite brutally, I don't know what he's going to do. But he does have Podge. Obviously, the AV7's a bit of a worry, but he is strength 5, and he's got all these lovely things like block, tentacles, claw, guard, mighty blow, frenzy. So, you know, nice guy. He has a lot of cash though, 260.
I will say though, mate, if you look at his ball carriers, neither of them have got block.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Or dodge.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how you get to like level 6 and you don't have block or dodge on your ball carrier. It's just like, it terrifies me.
But they're kind of like, they're set up as passing players, aren't they? Like Pythagoras has got, you know, he's got kick-off return, he's got sure hands, he's got pass, and Tendy
needs to tell Azek this. Yeah. You need to tell Azek their elf chaos.
Elf chaos, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the way I suppose what you could say is, well, why hasn't he got block? And you're like, well, you know what? He's a ball carrier. He's not supposed to get hit. I'm supposed to protect him. If he gets hit, then it's on me. You know.
One of his ball carriers has got kick. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why would you give him kick after kickoff return?
Oh, he's multi-talented, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's in case you get a blitz, because he can kick it to the spot and then leg it for the kickoff return.
That is amazing. That's
multitasker.
Top skills.
Yeah,
that is.
I love it.
I mean, like I said, I played him last season, first stick, dead dwarf. I always fear playing him, not coaching ability. It's more that he just breaks my team every time I play him, and I'm like.
I remember the first play last game, last year. You spent all week telling me, he'll kill stuff, he always does. First block from
hit.
Badger, dead. Like,
Yeah.
oh Christ!
And I was like, I used my app on. I was amazed my app works. But I was like, yeah, you know. But he has proven. You know, people joke about him and about, oh well, you know, he has this player, he has that player. Why has he got this? Why has he got that? But as you've already illustrated, he put a spanner in the work in quite a few good teams last season. Hawker, he stopped him making the playoffs. And what was the other one? Was it? Did someone say Shaker Dog as well? He beat.
Yep.
Yeah. So he beat Shaker Dog 2-1. He obviously then went after that. He went and beat the River Rats 1-0. So there's two of the best coaches in the division, and he beat both of them.
If you go onto stats, it's L1 onto the stat page, and then basically do per season. His last 2 seasons in pro, 403.
Yeah.
And the one before that, I think he was like 3-1-3 or something like that.
It was 2-3-2.
Yeah.
Was he 2-3-2? Yeah. So he's basically lost 5 games out of the last 14 in pro.
Yeah.
So like, you can say what you want about like he's unorthodox, he doesn't follow the script and all that, but his actual record in pro has been better than it ever was in challenge.
It's improving.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And like I said, he's got. When you've got Claw, you've always got to have a chance. You've always got a puncher's chance. And you've been.
I really like Badger as well.
Oh, I like Badger. I love Badger.
He's a lovely guy.
I think everyone loves Badger. Club, what's he got? He's got security gate, so he's at home first game of the season, as we know already. 21 wins, 16 draws, 59 losses. So if you look at that, you'll be like, oh my god, that is a horrendous record. But as you've already pointed out, the last 2 seasons, he's been turning this around. And last season, he ended up with a positive. So, you know, it's took him a while for this team to start, you know, getting it done. But they're now getting it done. And, you know, I can see him doing it again. I can see him turning a few of us over, especially for the claw wax. You know, and he's got 230k in the bank, so he has more money than anybody. So he's not worried at all.
He's only got 11 players, so I'd like to see him buy a Beastman or a couple of Beastmen.
I would buy at least one Beastman, personally myself.
Can't do anything before the first game, though.
Oh, can you not? Oh, well.
I thought you could.
Can't make roster changes, no.
No,
you can't
you
make a
can't.
roster change. I think you can get rid of his gold bloat. You can shed the, however much of his gold he wants, but he can't buy anything with it.
I'm going to have to check on that. That's a very good point. I don't think you're allowed to change anything.
No, it's a roster change.
Is it a roster change, is it?
Yeah, it's a roster change. So even like a cheerleader or assistant, you can't add anything like that.
So
you can just burn the 80k off.
Oh,
yeah, you can burn the 80k off.
No, I can't see him doing that. That would be a waste of 80k.
Who's he got first game?
Me, but...
Oh, Benny impartial there, Benny. No, I wouldn't do it if I was him. I'd keep it for that big second game.
Nah. 80k. I had to throw away 80k first game of the season. I don't care. If this is my team, I'm against Dwarfs. I'll bang myself.
What's
to be
TV
fair,
are you?
I would have bought a Beastman before sending the team.
Ben, what TV are you?
1810.
1810.
Yep. But I've got no cash, so I can't get a wizard if that's what you're asking. Not that I'd get a wizard with Dwarfs.
Okay, basically what he's doing is giving you an extra apple because you'll take an extra apple versus
No, but...
2 babes.
I have a really funny thing about having 2 apples, because the amount of times I see people take an extra apple and they never work, I feel it's like a bug in the game.
I like that with apples.
Every time you take an extra apple, most times they don't work.
Because it works 50% of the time anyway, so you got one that works and one that doesn't, rather than one that just doesn't work.
The amount of times I've seen people take an extra apple and now the apples work, and I'm like, nah, I won't. 100k for an apple, I can see a lot of people do it, but I can assure you if he doesn't cut anything, you won't be seeing me with an apple. I've got one, I'll trust him that apple. I'm not having any dodgy loan of apple coming in, messing my team up.
I'll be back in a sec, Bernie, mate.
Right,
I've just got to basically sort something for the kids.
No worries. Right, so let's have a look while he's out there. Let's have a look at... Well, I'll ask you this, Furion. Who's the key player in this team before we have a look at the schedule?
Oh, it's difficult because I think you look at the... you got the 2 killers and you got the 2 agi players and you got Podge. As they're the main main guys on this team. Like we said though, the agi 4 players don't have block, they don't have dodge. You lose those 2, and your ball handling is average.
Yeah.
And he's either got to end up carrying with a killer or the block Chaos Warrior or something or a rookie Beastman. So he's got to keep those agi pieces safe.
Yeah.
and everyone's going to be going after those two. Like, that'll be the priority. Take those two out, and the team is a lot less scary in terms of ball handling, and then you've just got to worry about the killers. Yeah. So yeah, either of those two beastmen, I think, are kind of key. Probably, I'd say Tenley Tusk is probably the more risky one, because he's got extra arms and and 2 heads, so he can dodge wherever he wants and pick up wherever he wants, pretty much. And he's got fend. Yeah. So he's probably the major one. They apply for goals as well. He's got sure hands, so he's going to be picking it up, I imagine, initially at least. Yeah. And giving it over to Tenley Tusk. How about you?
Yeah, I like Podge. I think when you're paying 260k for a player with AV7, you've got to like come up big, because that's a lot of cash. But at the same time, it's such a nice mana. It's got block, it's got juggernaut, it's got tentacles, it's got claw, it's got frenzy. So he'll get 2 chances to obviously knock them down. Obviously, he's got guard, he's got horn. So with 1 assist, he can, on a blitz, he gets a 3 die against most strength 3 players. But against all strength 3 players, and he's got mighty blow as well. So I think he's good at every role as Podge. He can surf, he can get the tentacles on ball carriers, and he's as safe as you got to get him for blitzing, apart from giving him pro.
Badger's also got a lot more guards, than a lot of other coaches has got. Yeah, I've noticed so far, we've been looking at the teams and they're relatively guard light, apart from the big guys, whereas he's got a couple of Chaos Warriors and a Beastman as well. So, in terms of strength battle, he's going to have a chance of kind of reducing the amount of 2D blocks and 1D blocks that he'll be coming up against. So
I've only got 4 guards for the first game, so he actually outstrengths me. So. It's a decent team. Obviously, it's one of the high TVs at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see what he does with his cash. I still can't get why he didn't take a transfer, or at least had a bench.
And I don't think we can change the roster. It's one of those weird things, because I know that Affect's got a level up to take before the first game as well.
Yeah, you can take level ups. I mean, them level ups should really be taken, I think, personally. I would get in trouble for that, but I think, come on, guys, you should be doing it. I don't like it myself. I think you just pick them. You're telling me after all these weeks you haven't decided what you're taking.
Well, I guess you can see who you're playing first, don't you? And then you adjust your pick, but yeah.
But yeah, I think you can't. I don't know. We'll have to get a clarification. I think what Alma's saying is I don't think he can add anything. So it is going to be interesting to see how he's going to go about it with his bloat.
Well, he can't go over the TV, but obviously if he's spending bloat, he's not going over the 1950. So can he take 1 Beastman and then that takes him down to 170? TV is still the same.
I don't think he's allowed to buy any players. I think Alma's right, if I remember. Yeah. But again, I'll check it. But let's see who he's playing. That's it. So. He obviously plays me first week, so the Tigers will play the Geddon. Geddon has no bench, so I'm worried about that.
But neither did the Tigers. So whichever team takes the first casualties. Yeah, that's true. He does have claw.
He has claw. He has 4 strength 4 piece and a strength 5 piece. So yeah, my team's like, hey man, don't worry about it. I'm like, yeah, well, can I have the ball first and hopefully get some good dice. So he's got me first week, and then second week he's got the Sid. So that's not a bad start. He's got some dwarfs he can chew on. He's then got some dark elves he can chew on. That's all right. Week 3 though, he's got the Souls. Ooh, that'll be a good game. The Souls will be looking for revenge in that one. Obviously, he did beat the Souls last season. And then week 4. Now this is Reptile Heavyweights versus the Tigers. So obviously that's your team. Now he'll be looking for blood, because last season Dragoons Reptilian People, they broke the Tigers pretty badly. Really badly. And that's something I will stress as well. When I played him last season, when I beat him 3-0, I think he was missing 2 of his 3 claw. So he'll have all his claw against me this time. But I think he'll be wanting to break some lizards this season for sure. And then we've got, who we got after that? He's got the Pumas in week 5. Then he's got the Hawker week 6 again. Bit of deja vu if the Rats need a result there. And then finally he ends up with the Beastie Boys in week 7. So yeah, that's not bad. Again, the team's good enough to get it done. He is improving. Will he make the playoffs? Well, if you look at his history, probably not. But he is improving. And I always like watching or giving a bit more of a chance to teams what are improving. And obviously, when you've got Claw, you're always going to have a chance, I think.
I think Badger will pull out a few results that will surprise people. I don't think he'll make playoffs, but I can see him. He could beat any of the teams in this division if the game goes his way.
Yeah, the problem
he's not
is,
a bad player at all, and it's just a case of if he keeps his team healthy and a few things come off in the matches.
I've seen him do crazy stuff. I mean, in the farm, he usually throws for 5+, 4+, no real need, and just bans me every time. And I'm still waiting for him to fail one. But he's not scared to do any of that. And like I said, he's got a good chance in week 1. I mean, dwarfs don't like claw. It's a simple fact. And especially when they've got the same amount of guard. Well, yeah, no, my team. My dwarf team actually aren't too bad.
Or rocks, or pitch invasions, or fans.
No, I like my fans. I like my
None
fans.
of the things you don't like, Bernie. Don't like Elfgrass. Oh, don't like that Astro.
I love Elfgrass. I love Elfgrass. It looks beautiful, Elfgrass. But I think he will surprise a few people. I'm dreading week 1 because, as I just said, when I played him, Dragoon did a number on him the week before, so he had 1 claw. Still killed the player, but, But that should be an interesting game. I think the key really is can he improve on what he did? He's proven he can beat the best coaches like Hawker and Shaker Dog. So to be honest, there's no reason for him to be fighting for the playoff spot again. It could be one of those sleepers where he might just go under the radar. And like I think Alma said earlier, it's only Big Bad. I'll just not take it seriously, and then boom, it beats you. So
I don't think his team's good enough though. If you break it down and all that, you can give that team to I'm not going to say like Gerd or something like that, but you can give that team to a very, very like Beers, and I think Beers would struggle to get in the playoffs in this pool with that team.
I think if Claw fires, you've got a chance.
Possibly.
I think that's what it comes down to, in my opinion, and positioning. So
Jesus Christ.
But it does have the cash. So that is the good thing. Right, let's go to the Reptile Heavyweights then. The last time we saw these brave lizards, they got absolutely smashed in the semi-final against Rand the Mad, who seems to call everyone else a kill team, but he's more famous for almost killing a team. And then obviously Firion fought bravely in the final, but went down. Since then, they've now come back. The Crocs has gone. What's a shame. But, there's still a lot of break tackle. There's still a lot of mighty blow. Parlon. Crikey, it's an interesting team. Obviously, he's got his agility 4 skink as well. Alma, I'm going to come to you first because it's Firion's team. What do you think?
I love the team, mate. It's just awesomely built. I look at that team and I'm like, okay, I'm going west. But it's just a lot of times you see a team built and you go, oh yeah, it's built to counter this, it's built to counter that. It's just well built. It's not a team that's built to like beat elves or beat dwarfs or something like that. It's a team that go, okay, if you want to bash with me, I can bash with you. If you want to try to dodge away from you, I can get to you. If you want to play really safe and cagey, okay, I can get to your players. It was an amazing team before the cuts. It's still a brilliant team.
Yeah, it's
just nice. It's a team that's been built, well put together initially, improved upon the same thing, and then okay, little cherry on the cake, if that makes sense. Okay, I'll bring that transfer in. I remember reading like Firion's stories where I think he brought like Leatherface in, and he brought another one in from like 2 of the very old, like was it the Dino team?
Yeah, it was Dino Rock was Leatherface, and then I brought in the Crocs who's gone. He came from the season 2 winners.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gone now.
It looks like that, but the rest of the team doesn't look out of place in the championship team, if that makes sense.
Right, okay.
And let's face it, if that semi-final would have went a bit differently, you could be looking at somebody who's already a champion coming back with his team. Because,
Right, let me go back to let me give you a little history lesson of the Reptile Heavyweights.
Tell me a story.
I'm going to tell you a story. It's all about stats, and I know.
I've got my slippers on, Bernie.
Good. Have you got your cocoa? Here we go.
Have a Coke.
Right.
Coca-Cola.
I've got that. I'm pretty good. I'm actually on Pepsi Max Cherry, maximum taste, no sugar. Yeah, I don't know about maximum taste, but I'll take it.
I'll taste the Pepsi Max Cherry, mate. It's maximum... What the hell are you drinking?
Maximum sweeteners.
Oh, man, it's fun. It's totally fun. It's good. Anyway, let's go. Season 15 then. I do believe it's CL, so that's challenge. His record was 6 wins, no draws, 1 loss. Then we were into the pros in season 16.
An okay record, mate, but he lost. You know, the best don't lose.
Season 16 pros. So he makes the jump from challenge to pros. 6 wins, no draws, 1 loss. So again, an amazing record.
Still a loss there, mate.
Season 17, 4 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss.
Again, still a loss there.
Season 18, 7 wins, no draws, no losses, and lost the final. What was, we can't hold that against him.
Mate, which is why I was saying about the loss.
We can't hold that against him. We cannot hold that against him. He had no team there. But what that does tell us is he very rarely loses. This team's still in a health position, and you basically said what I was going to say. This team is built to basically be able to take on anybody.
I'll actually do another thing here as well, mate. That he brings it in at 1950. Okay, half the teams are getting wizards versus them, or like swords and things like that. He's coming in trim, and yet the Crocs is a big miss. But in this pool, I don't know how big a miss it's going to be, because I don't know who's going to outstrength them. You can outguard them, but
I can't. I've got the same amount of guard as he has.
Oh Jesus! In which case, okay. Azek can kind of match him on strength, kind of match him on guard, but Azek's not got skinks, so you can't match him on bullshit. And well, Firian's record isn't built based upon just playing one type of team.
Let me ask you both this. Obviously, Firian will probably know better than me and yourself. How bad is it if you lose a Saurus, a developed Saurus, or if you go into the next game with only 5 Saurus?
Without losing, if you've got all 7 big lizards, if you lose 1, it's fine. But because I'm only starting with 6, if I lose, if I lose one of, say, like Dempsey or Cassius or Holyfield or Leatherface, I'll have 5 lizards who can kind of strength, and then you're relying on kind of loner skinks. I have got the advantage because I've got 2 block, side step, diving tackle skinks who can kind of are a bit more tough than the others, and the AG4 guy, but it's a lot more difficult. But because of my TV value, I might be able to induce a Saurus or induce a Crocs, or Slidley or something. So it might not be the end of the world, but if I lose one, it takes so long to get them blocked. That's the hardest part, is getting them blocked initially. Once you get that, it's kind of easy.
I'll tell you what, mate, I think you really want to win the kickoff in your first game.
Hell yeah.
you don't want to be taking 3 claw hits on your sword or having to put like thingy.
Would it not make more sense just putting 3 skinks on the line?
Potentially, yeah. It's actually an option. I consider putting the loner skink on the line in the first game, because I could put the 2 like least experienced Saurus on the line, or maybe like Pacquiao and one of the loner skinks. Put them on the line. They're gonna get hit. That's fine. Or you go for.
You can probably first game. I'm just trying to think of Azek's TV. I think Azek's got 1890 TV. You'll be 1790. So you could actually induce another skink as well.
I'm going to need an Apo first. I've got no Apo.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
I had to cut the Apo to make TV.
Is it safe to say then the first thing you'll get is an Apo?
100%.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
I've got the 50k ready to
You've
take
got the money ready. Take my money.
Yeah,
I get
but
it.
I also can't buy them yet.
Yeah, that's interesting then. Let's have. I mean, out of all these players, which is the key player, Alma? Who do you think is the key player? Is it number 8, the skink, or do you think it's somebody else?
Oh, in this team,
so well balanced, isn't it? It's like there's a couple I like here, but
specifically for this team, there's always the temptation to go, if you've got to move 9 or 10 or whatever, to go for that, or if you've got AG4, or the AG4 is important. Holyfield, because it's the pommer, and it keeps teams honest. Leatherface, Frenzy and a bludge. He's just a nice player. He's the one who, like, if I was playing versus him, I'd be like, okay, I'm looking at where that player is at every single point of the game.
Yeah. I mean, Holyfield, would you be in the thing where you say, all right, do you know what, Firian, if you're going to pile on me, I'm going to boot the living shit out of it.
It depends, mate, because I'm pretty sure Firian ain't going to leave him hanging out there. So
Yeah, but
it's going
this-
to be like a 20-odd% foul chance,
Yeah,
or
but this is
overcommitting to try to get the foul.
Yeah,
so
but this is the problem I see with I mean, I'm not saying Firion does it, but what I'm saying, this is a problem I see with a lot of players. Is like they go and pile on. Wait, look at this, and like, oh shit, I've got to protect him from being fouled. And then all of a sudden, half the team go across and go protect the guy on the floor. And then obviously a good coach goes, right, well, while half your team's fouling something I wasn't going to foul anyway, I'm going to manipulate the rest of the pitch and put you in trouble. I think piling on, it can be good, but at the same time can be dangerous if you know, in my opinion.
Here's what I'll say, mate. Right, if Firion hits with that player, he's a mighty blow player, unless, okay, I can pile on completely safely, and I know I can. He's not going to hit him, pile on, oh shit, I piled on, I've got to react to it. You know what I mean? He knows how to use it.
Yeah, you say that. A lot of people do it. That's why I'm bringing it up. A lot of people. I see it. I see it all the time. So, you know, we know a certain person who plays Sea Lad a lot, yet to win a
my first ever pile-on game in League, I was just like, oh, it's lit up! Yes! What am I doing?
Yeah. So,
yeah,
you know.
I'm a lot better on it now, but yeah, it's he hasn't got that player in the team unless he knows how to use it, and he knows how to use it, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally like.
It's the same with Frenzy. I do certain
like
people know.
Leatherface.
Like I was talking to Clown a while back about like putting Frenzy on a war dancer, and he's like, "Oh, it's risky." Like, no, it's not. Like, Frenzy is completely not risky at all if you know how to use Frenzy. Frenzy's, if you're not used to it, but if you ever play like Dark Elves or anything like Skaven with a Rat Ogre or something like that, you know how to use Frenzy. You know, okay, I'm not going to take that blitz. Why? Because I'm going to get saved if I do it, or I'm in really deep crap if the first block doesn't work. Same with Pylon. You know how to use it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to look at, you know, what the good things and bad things about obviously Pommers. I still think Leatherface is the go-to guy. I do believe it was a Bearzo player. I'd like to guess it was a Bearzo.
It was Bearzo, yeah. It was Bearzo, yeah.
For that. I'll never live that down if I forgot that. I think obviously Duran's got a good chance. I don't think there's any leapers in the division. So you know, that's all.
Who was it in the semi-final that like really? I think it was Bearzo, wasn't it?
No, it was Rand. Rand killed my team before the final.
Oh, Rand, yeah.
Took out
that explains it.
And 2 Saurus, so I had 4 Saurus, which was very tough.
Yeah, but again, you only just lost that game, so...
Yeah, I imagine bullshit, but you wasted a wizard, but anyway.
Let's have a look
I think if I look at my own team, like Holofield, the pylon is just there as a threat mostly. If there's a chance at the end of a half, I'll obviously pile on, or if I can get a safe pylon, I'll pile on, but he'll just stand up otherwise, because, you know, if he's they've all got break tackle as well. Those top 4 have got break tackle, so they're so mobile.
There's another thing that pylon does as well, when you're using it as a threat, and it's if your opponent's got a dirty player, or if he's got bribes, in the back of his head is, I'm saving it for that player. So he can actually miss fouling opportunities throughout the game because he's okay. I'm waiting for that pylon guy, because it's kind of like okay, I've got the pylon, you've got the bribe, and who's got to go first with it?
I always think with bribes, or if I've got bribes, I don't give a shit. If I've got a fouler, my main thing is I will foul good players. No, I will foul good players. If it's a pylon fan, but I always look at if he's on the floor. He's on the floor, and you know, although they are quite fast, they haven't got jump up, so he's still got to get up and do his stuff. And you know, break tackle is great, but how many times we all roll ones, and if he starts burning re-rolls on getting some up to move out the way, you know, I always look at the bigger picture. But no, I mean, I get what you're saying about. I tell you what, if I was against a team where they had like foulers and they weren't going to foul until they could foul them at Pommers, I'd love it. I'd be like, oh great lad, you keep fouling my Pommers, because you sort of, when you've got Pommers and you play it quite aggressive like I do, I obviously know, look, they're probably gonna die, but you know it is what they're there for. But no, I think if I had their player, I wouldn't target it. I'm not saying I wouldn't hit it if he was on the floor, but I think with their players, you just go for a good player. If you can get a good player.
The other thing that people kind of underestimate as well is there is the AG4 skink who's very important. He's the ball handler. Yeah. The two other skinks, Sugar Ray and De La Hoya, Blodge, sidestep, diving tackle, are an absolute pain in the ass. Like, you mark up a ball carrier with them. I did it to Biz in the final. I just kept marking his ball carrier with the skinks, and I was like, you know, roll a pow, hit me, and if you don't, I'm still next to your ball carrier and it's not moving. So they're really nice. I had 3. I had to cut one to get on the TV. But they're so annoying, and sometimes players don't quite know how to deal with them. So they're really nice pieces, and to have 2 of them as well is really nice. So
do you play Hawker this season? You do, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
We'll have a look.
Because he's not going to have fun with the thingy, with that DVC. He's got no tackle.
Right,
exactly.
so let's have a look at the schedule then. Let's have a look at the schedule. So, a nice easy start to welcome you back against last season's finalists, the Silver Suns. Hopefully they'll come with Sunscreen this time.
Thing is, get that game out the way and you haven't taken damage.
Yeah, but
if you haven't taken damage, you know what you've got for the rest of the season almost.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I
3 Saurus.
I mean, let's have a look at. I'm just going to quickly look at the Silver Suns just so people can see why we're slightly panicking here. He's got 2 Pommers. He's got guard. He's got the strength, and he's also. God, this could go either way. Yeah, if he gets to go first. I tell you what, what I'm interested. If I'm looking at this game, or if I'm gonna say, for instance, I'm streaming this game, what I'm interested in here is how brave will Firion be? That we saw it with Fight Talk last season in the playoffs, didn't we? He was like, "Whoa, I'm out of here. It's going bad. I'm gone. You can have the win," and that's a playoff win. Will Firion? I'm obviously asking Alma here.
Fire Talk did that before the kickoff. I'm out of here.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I'm asking you because obviously I can ask Firion, but I'm going to ask you, Alma. Can we see Firion waving the white flag?
Nah.
Is he going to say, "Look, I'm going to give you. I want the team, healthy. I'll give this away as a loss. I always seem to get a 6-1 record anyway, so don't worry about it. And I'll win you the 6. Or are we gonna see a proper I ain't scared of nobody. I'm going to prove why I'm one of the best.
If it's a playoff game, he goes till his team's destroyed. If it's a first league game of a season, and he's experienced enough that if first turn he loses 2 Saurus, next blitz second turn he loses another Saurus, next turn he loses another Saurus, he isn't playing on I'm going to destroy the rest of my team. He'll play it sensibly. But at the same point, what's Isaac going to do if he loses the kickoff and he loses 2 or 3 players in the first few turns? Because Isaac's shown in the past that I'm willing to not push myself to actually make sure I've got a healthy team. So.
I think what I've seen of Isaac, especially last season, especially against some of the teams where he almost got pitch cleared, he fought to the end. He fought to the bitter end. I don't have an issue with Isaac. I think Isaac will fight to the end. I'm asking because obviously lizards do not like claw, and if this goes south, what it could do, like I said, if Silver Suns get the ball first, they get rid of 2-3 players, they get a roll on. Are we going to see Firion sort of stand there and go, "Look, you ain't getting the win"?
It's severity of injury, innit? If you lose badly hurt, and you keep me Apo, as soon as the Apo goes, it becomes a bit more risky. As soon as you start to lose players on stat downs, which aren't agi downs, because obviously if he takes 2 agi downs, he's like, well, okay,
doesn't matter.
I'm a Saurus, doesn't matter. It's basically one of them. If he starts taking strength busts and niggles, AV busts and all that, then okay, I've got another 6 games after this.
You just limit the blocks. That'll be the thing, though. Just give him a blitz. He's going to blitz me anyway. Wherever I go on the pitch, he's going to chase me and blitz me. So just limit the extra hits, and then
the thing about Isaac is he's not a herp derper. He's aggressive and he targets players, but he doesn't just go herp base. Because he doesn't win all the bash games that he plays if he just bases up.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to say, I am going to ask you because I don't want to give his game plan away, but that's the thing I'm interested in. It's obviously seen what happened last season in the playoffs, and it has been done before. I remember I played against, who was it? Oh, it was that Lizardman guy who threw me the ball at half-time in the playoffs?
Paliokos.
That's the fella.
Or Paliodokos, the German guy.
That was Nagel against Lizards, and that went a bit south in the first half. He was like, you know what? Have the ball, I'm done. So that's the thing I'm going to be interested to see, because like you said, it is the first game of the season, and you don't want to see what happened to the Rats happen to the Lizards. But, we'll have to see. Anyway, so if he gets past the first week, he's got a nice easy game in week 2. He's got them inferior reptilian people. He'll swat them fake lizards away, no problem. I can't see him losing that one. Week 3, he then goes against the Welsh River Rats. I think that's going to be one of the best games of the season. That game and the Azek game, I'm really looking forward to. I always like to see top coaches play against each other. After the Rats, he plays against TIFF Tigers, I do believe. So again, I can see him getting a result there, but again, will Tigers take any players out? Week 5, he goes against the Geddon. Easy game. That's a buy. That's a buy for everybody. So
that's gonna be one of the tough ones because you've got so much tackle. I've got to keep the skink safe.
Just base your skinks on my troll slayers. That's what you need to do. Just come on over here and then go in the side cage.
That's a good game, that one.
Again, it depends what we've got left though. We're both going against
in advance, mate. If your game's on the same time as thingy and all that can actually do it, I'll announce that one because that would be really, really nice. I'll get Jest in there with me.
Like I said, there's a lot of good matchups this season in obviously Europe. I don't know about in the Yankee Doodle Dandy, but over here, where all the best coaches are.
Whoa, what?
Well, hey, European coaches seem to always win, don't they? So yeah, NCB, you're not claiming to be a Yank, are you?
Yet.
Yeah, you see, more like Russian. So anyway, he's got the Geddon for week 5. Week 6, he's got the Souls.
No, not the Souls.
No, not the Souls. Pumas. Oh, that's even better for you. And then week 7.
Both of you have got like a recovery game there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Why?
Maybe.
Who have I got? Saints. Yeah. Okay, fair play.
Model Saints. Yeah.
I think the week 1's going to be massive. I can't wait to see. I suppose you can say the same about me against the other kill team. How badly will Virion want that win or that draw?
I can just imagine you, Bernie. You're going to be sitting there like that, just rubbing your hands together, going, death.
Everybody says that. Everyone wishes my team to die every season. So I get
Apo dead.
Yeah. If I Bears are rolling me apples, I won't.
And you'll get a message off Bernie. Oh, such a shame.
Hey, don't
I'm gutted, mate. I'm gutted for you.
Don't confuse me with you. Don't you dare confuse me with you. That's an element.
Bernie, right. I will point out, right. From about week 5 onwards last season, you kept messaging me. You know that if I'm overconfident, I pretend to play crap. You go, you've got this game, no problem. It's only a challenge.
Was it right? I was right. See, so
you were doing it before the Goblin game.
Yeah, to be fair though, you should have...
I expect 7 or 8 in this game.
Do you know what? If that was a Goblin Gambling game, I was going to go with 7-0, and I would have looked a right twat, wouldn't I? I would have looked an absolute twat, going 7-0, and then you go and put that in... Bernie's cast would have been a legend, that would have been it. You would have figured it forever, so I was really happy that... Because I was going to go 7-0, I thought he's going to murder him.
All I can say is, right, if I win that Goblin game when I was 2-0 at half-time, I was undefeated.
So the Goblin stops you from greatness. Nobody has ever. I mean, Firion almost made it. You almost made it. But this is what I'm saying. This is Blood Bowl. We can say, oh well, you should win that game or you should be confident. But Blood Bowl has a way of kicking us in the nuts. And that's why Blood Bowl is great and frustrating at the same time. It's a dice game.
And looking at the 2 games I miss playing against Shaky, which is massive.
Yeah,
because obviously he's got Claw and also a very good coach. And I miss the Beastie Boys, which is another Claw team. So I'm kind of happy. Obviously I would have loved to have missed Azek, but having him in the first week country with Alma, actually I'd rather play Azek first. And if my team's ruined, then I kind of have to deal with it for the rest of the season. But at least I don't have to worry about getting towards playoffs and then getting my team ruined.
You can also have him first game. You can go, okay, I've got 6 games to pull this around. If you got him week 5 or 6 and you're like, oh god, I need to win this game to stay in, then you basically go, okay, I need to break my team to actually to get the result. Whereas first week you can bounce back because Jesus Christ, like people have made playoffs a good few times, haven't lost the first game.
Yeah, it's all about trying to get a result in it, really. More Hell Saints then.
I'm going to have to pop off, chaps.
Yep.
Okay, mate. Really good talking to you.
See you later. Yep.
No problem. Alright, cheers that, Firion.
See you later, guys.
See you later. Bye.
Bye then.
Oh god, no Crocs, mate. He's got on the first game. No Apo.
Right, so it's me and Joe then. We've got a few more teams to go. So, the Dark Elves, I mean, obviously you're a Dark Elf coach, obviously, so you obviously know. Apparently so.
Only on a Wednesday, mate. On a Thursday, I'm a rat coach, and the rest of the week, I'm a chaos coach.
I think he had a good season last season. He did all right. He seemed to do well. I played him. His structure was pretty sound. The problem with the way his structure was is I was like guessing what he was doing for it. I think he did. So it can become a bit predictable. But obviously, we saw him take the goblins apart.
It seems to be built in a certain way.
And it gave a good account more times than not. So I'm expecting good things from him. He's got 50k. Obviously, he's played another season gone. The team's looking quite healthy. I did say there's no leapers. Actually, I lied. There is one, number 4.
There is. It's an RG5 guy, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a 2+ dodge in there. No tackle, though. But he's good as a ball carrier as well. Like I said, I thought he played very solid last season. I was very, very impressed with him. That's the first time I've played him. So I don't really know where I sit on him here. Apart from that, he's a solid player, but he's very structured, is what I would say. And that can be a good thing, but against experienced coaches, it can be a bad thing.
I think he's. Oh God, I'm trying to think. Consistent. At his level he's consistent. So you kind of know, okay, if I have a really bad day, he's going to beat me. If I have a really good day, I'm going to beat him because his level's very level. If that makes, I know it sounds really strange. Level is level, but it's what's always said about like the Projecki and Gerd, that they consistently play at their level. Yeah. They don't have like bigs up and downs. What you said about Hawker probably can be said about me as well, where I can play really well and I can go, what the hell am I doing? Whereas he kind of plays at the level he is at. Yeah. And it's good because if he improves and learns more and gets better and better and better, he's got that consistent level of play. So whatever his ability level is, he'll just stay consistent at that. I like his team.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, he had 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses, but I think he was a lot better than his record. I think he was in a lot of those games. Obviously, his 2 wins came against 2 Goblin teams. But again, like I said, I was impressed.
The trip loss. He lost it because he was too cautious, if that makes sense. Because Trip gave him the shots, and he didn't take them, which meant that Trip basically stayed in control of the tempo. And you know what he's like as a player, Trip. And this team's built to basically have the tempo and just grind you down. And he kind of fell into the trap on it. Obviously, the 2 Goblin ones show if you turn up with a team that I'm not worried about, I can just rip them apart. Drew Whip and Drew lost to Hawker 3-2 in a shootout, but no shame there. Lost to you 2-0, but from what I remember, that game was quite close for a large part of it. It
was close. I mean, I scored a 10-8. I got where I wanted to. And then, it was a close second half. He was in the game for the majority of it.
He was kind of trying to delay, wasn't he, on it?
He was trying to switch through and everything. I mean, like I said, he's a good player. I just thought, especially in the second half, I sort of thought, right, he's going to go here, he's going to go there, and he did. And in a way, it was good, and it wasn't, because it's like, well, I know what he's going to do. And that made it easy for me, but again, he's still, if he had a bit better dice, he would have probably scored. I was going to be like, right, I'll let him score, then I'll grind it 2-1, but luckily, what I did worked. And know
what somebody's got to do and they execute it well. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad play, because okay, I know what he's going to do. Can he actually stop it?
That's it.
If he actually executes it well. Yeah.
And like I said, it's a good team.
When I watch him play, he uses the IG5 really well. And he's got that little bit of the gear thing of, if he gets the ball out, it kind of gets gone, if that makes sense. He always has like the option out.
Yeah.
So
good players up, yeah.
I don't. I just wing it when it comes out. It's like, oh, the ball's out, yay! I've moved all my players.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? I think he could do well. He's got a lot high TV though, 19-20 compared to a few of these others.
Yeah. It's a Dark Elf team, mate. They build quick on the thingy.
But at least obviously he's got a bench, hasn't he? So that's good, and he's got 50k.
Yeah, overrated, mate.
I don't know. I like benches. I think else with benches almost guarantee a good result.
almost always last one game before the bench is gone.
Well, I don't know. But I think, you know, he's better than his stats. I mean, I was surprised. I mean, 11 wins, 7 draws, 11 losses is still a solid enough sort of stats. I mean, which player do you think is his key player then? Would you say number 4 is his key player? Were you saying how well he does with him? Or
number 4 and the thingy witch, Agi witch as well. Watching him, they're the 2 he protects. They're the 2 he protects, and when he's like trying to pull off some like BS, like elf player BS, they're the ones he kind of relies on, and the other ones will be kind of exposed to try to allow them to do stuff. But the Agi 5, mate, it's a no-brainer that he's going to use that. I think he added the pylon MB guy this year. I don't remember him having that.
I think, did he have him? I think he might have had
He
him.
didn't. I don't think he had a pylon player. Yeah. And looking at him, I don't think... No, he definitely didn't. He didn't have all of his thingies were bludgers. I think he might have got a thingy broken during the season. His MB blitzer. Because his witch was the MB. I don't know whether he had
He
a
hasn't
mighty
got any.
blitzer.
He hasn't got any records of.
Yeah, well, look at the SPP for the number of games. 10 games, 33 SPP. That's not done in league.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, personally,
he's tried to have a little bit of hitting power at least.
Yeah.
He's got the guard to be able to get them blitzers as well with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's got a good chance. Again, another team who could go under the radar but could do really, really well.
It's not going to be an easy game.
No. I personally like the number 4, 2+. He's got leaps, so he's going to be really hard to lock down on defense.
And short hands as well.
Yeah, so I think he's probably the better. I think if he has a good season, then he'll have a good season. Looking at his schedule then, so if we go to week 1, he opens up with the Beastie Boys, so you know that's not too bad. The Beastie Boys like to throw it about as well, so
a nice pleasant game from like Overkill.
I think,
there'll be no foul or like claw in that game.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think both coaches won't be too worried about that. Week 2 he goes against TAFE Tigers, so again he'll be obviously hoping that the Geddon can do some damage there. But again, I always think if you're Dark Elves and you've got a blodge and speed, you're not really as bothered about chaos.
He should beat Badger. I think he beat him last year. Did he beat him last year? I might have drew him last year. I was thinking about it. If he played,
yeah. I don't think they played. Week 3.
I'd pick him to beat Badger.
What we got week 3? He's got Pumas week 3, so again, he'd be pretty confident that he can certainly get some out of that game. So not bad so far. Week 4 could be a tough one, but again, Dark Elves against Underworld. Again, I don't think that's a bad matchup. I'm quite liking this schedule. Way up. Week 5, but against the Silver Suns. Now they do have 2 tackle pommers, so that is a worry. But as we know,
3 tackle, 2 tackle pommers in the team.
But as we know that at the moment, as it stands, the Silver Suns do struggle against Elves. So he has
problem
that
is, mate, he's got no strength. So I'm wondering whether he's going to get bullied around by him a bit.
But again, we don't know what's going to be allowed in week 5. That's the other thing, isn't it? So that's
if he goes into the game with a wizard, I'd fancy him.
Yeah, so that's week 5. Week 6, after Azek, he goes against me to Orphageddon. So that's a nice 1-2 for him. Week 5 and week 6.
Okay, who's he getting that 1,000 inducements? Week 7 best.
Week 7 he goes against Reptile Heavyweight, so that's Firian's team. So
okay, right. Up to week 4, I'm like, God, he's got a great chance here, and then he goes bang, 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 and I'm like, oh Jesus.
Can you imagine if you're him and you're looking at the schedule, week 1, oh that's alright, week 2, oh this is good. Then week 5, I was like,
it's my season. It's my season.
Well, I was like Bernie Furion. That's a nice. So basically, to make the playoffs, I would say get your points in the first 4, so then you can try and get, and then see if you can pick anything from the other 3. Because they are racially not very
horrible games.
They are really. I mean, because the thing is, all them 3 teams have got a lot of tackle and a lot of mighty blow. And even them bloody lizards have got like break tackle, mighty blow. So there's a lot of mighty blows going to be hitting at the moment. But if he can keep that leaper of it alive, at least it's going to be hard.
Has he got much tackle himself though? That's the problem. I don't know if has he got one tackle?
I'll have a look. He by the way, misses out Hawker. So that's not bad. Well, I don't know. I think that could have been quite a good matchup. And he misses out on Dragoon as well. And I think that would have been a decent matchup as well.
Yeah, so... I would like to have played both of them with Dark Elves.
Yeah.
I like Dark Elves versus Ratch is actually quite a good racial matchup.
Yeah, it is. And I quite like playing against Lizards with Dark Elves, as long as they don't have mass tackle.
You can bash first Rats.
Yeah, it's got
Claw doesn't
tackle.
really matter that much. He's got three tackle the Witches. He doesn't really like exposing the Witches though. Yeah.
Well, I look at it as this. I think if I'm Donor, I'm like, right, okay, I've got to, I can win any of them games. I'm good enough to win any of them games, but hand on heart, I'd be like, right, I've got to get as many points in the first 4. Hope the next 3 lose players, and then hope I'm good enough to get results there. Because he's good enough to get results there, but they are not teams and coaches you want to be playing at the end of the season.
No, not at all. A lot of it depends on what happens to his team by week 5. As a game, what TV he comes out of, because he could come out of that TV where, oh Christ, I've got a Wizard for the last 2 games. In which case, it then spins it to, okay, a Wizard versus Dwarves, a Wizard versus Lizards, whereas he could just get his team retired by Isaac as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, when we've seen the other teams, or these big teams, as we're calling them, they've gone against a lot of killy stuff where he misses a lot of killy stuff the first 4 weeks, really. So he could go through the first 4 weeks and have a full fit team, and then go into week 5, week 6, week 7, and all of a sudden them 3 teams are bruised, battered, missing players. I mean, like I've said, if Isaac loses players, and the amount of times I've seen Lizards do over Chaos teams is crazy. You don't hear enough of it, but they do it. We saw Dragoon do it last season.
I played Osiris a few times with Lizards and Cladder, and I think it was Osiris anyway. I played the top Lizard coach, who's actually number 1 on the Cladder at the moment, and I think we split games, and one game he basically decimated me. I couldn't do anything because McClaw didn't fire early on, and his Mighty Blow did. Second game, I basically pitch cleared the guy because McClaw fired. McClaw fired, and he had like 2 Saurus left and 1 Crocs by turn 7.
And you've got to remember as well. You've got to remember Beastmen are only AV8. People forget that they're not AV9, they're AV8. So they can't.
Mighty Blow hitting the Beastman's the same as Claw hitting a Saurus.
So it is. It is what it is. Let's go over to the Beastie Boys, and they're another team who was back, another Claw team. Prisoner Beard's out first game, what'll be a big miss, but they've got a lot of Agility 2 players. They've been stat down. Edward Clawfist has got an AV bust.
I actually said to Overkill, the Nurgle, aren't they? And he's like, no. With the amount of Agility 2, I thought they were Nurgle.
I mean, I spoke to him quite a bit early this morning. All he wanted to do was, when do we play, me and Dave, because obviously he wants to kill my team. And obviously we played first week. It's an interesting team. I remember seeing them play. There was always a good team to watch. He's stressing to me they're not a kill team. They're more they like to throw the ball about. So I'll be watching to see if that's true. He
didn't actually play them that kill. I'm trying to remember what season it was. It might be on the history, because I think it was the last season he played them. I actually played them, I think. It was quite a close game from what I remember.
Season 21 was his last time he played these.
Yeah, I think it might have been I think I did play them.
Yeah.
If you look at history.
So let's have a look. There's a few decent results in there, though. He's certainly got a hammered Revang the Dwarfs 3-0. Jesus, beat Chaps 2-1. So there's some good.
Look at some
with
ones
Hopeless
he's losing.
Necromatics.
I'm trying to think, because I've definitely played them. I'm just trying to remember what I played them on.
Blood Vamber, you beat him 2-1, but it was a long time ago.
I beat him 2-1,
But
I think it might have been in the Challenge League when I came in as a replacement.
Possibly.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
But look at the team. It's not bad. It's got a few bruises. Obviously with Agility 2. I'm trying
to remember. I don't know how many niggles he's got. That's the problem. Because if they're just number 2 has got a niggle by the look of it. Frisney Beard. Was that missing this game or a niggle?
It's MNG, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to look at them now, but sugar. Yeah, but they're all just -1 agilities, apart from number 2. But again, it's AV9, so you've got to hope that works. Frisney Beard is just an MNG, I think, if I remember correctly. But we'll have a look.
Because that's a big one, isn't it?
Oh, it's got a niggle. It's got a niggle as
that's a bad one then. Because basically the role for him is going in, so he's kind of got to get hit after doing it.
Well,
he's got AV bust beastman as well.
Yeah, so, but I mean, the thing is, he's got a low TV value as well, so that'll help. He has no Apo, and he only has one reroll. So that is risky. But again, he's got 140k in the bank, so he's going to be able to bring them back. I don't know why he's sitting at 1510 though. That doesn't make sense to me.
Because he's missing a 210 player, and he's got to add a low as well, so 270.
Yeah.
So 17 and 80 when they come back.
Yeah, fair enough.
So 17, 80, 1830 when he buys his Apple. Basically, induce an Apple first game, buy one after.
Yeah, he's doing what Fury did then, that's fair enough.
And probably induce a reroll, I would say as well, because one reroll.
Yeah. What's the key player in this team then?
Okay, looking at them. Probably Brashley Muzzle.
Can do
MB, tackle, claw, Agi4, so we can actually get him where he needs to go. He's the one who, like, if I was offered to play it off the team, I'd take him.
Yeah.
Frisney Beard, the niggle makes me go.
Yeah. He's a good player though, but again, the niggles are worried.
Yeah.
I like Little Bull as well. I think Little Bull, I know, he's got a right blodge, 2 heads, extra arms, strength 4. Sure hands. I like him. I think he's a good little player.
Actually, if you take the strength off and give him move up and take the sure hands off him, he's basically my ball carrier and cladder, my beastman ball carrier. It's exactly where I built him. Extra arms, blodged thingy. Yeah.
I think he's
nice
pretty
player,
good because if he gets the ball, it's going to be hard to get the ball off, and he's blodged. So if you haven't got tackle, you're looking for a pow. Sometimes maybe on a red die or 1 die. So I think it's Little Bull. If you feed him and he can get it done. And you've still got a decent amount of guard with your 3 big lads there, and then you've got your claw as well. You've got Frisney. Yeah, he does have a niggle, but he's a quality player. He can do a bit of everything as well. He's got 2 agility 4 pieces, strength 4 ball carrier. It's not bad.
1 Chaos Warrior should level quite quick, i.e. the missing next game one, and another Beastman should level quite quick, and another Beastman should level quite quick. So he's got 1 on 5 or 6, 148, 51, and 173, 76, all them 3 players. So keeps his team. They all level up. He gets his Apo. He buys a reroll because he can actually buy a reroll if he gets 120, 170. 30k in the first game, and he gets basically a reroll and an Apo for the second game.
Yeah.
Which it'd be huge.
Yeah. Like I say, I think with inducements, he's certainly got a chance.
I also like Overkill as well, mate.
Fine. Do you manage to find games on PS4? Yeah, no problem. I don't have a problem finding games. Do you find having a problem with games on PS4 for Bloodbowl?
Donsworth 14, do you sucky a long time?
What sort of response is that to bloody... What have I just asked you?
Because I'm pretty sure it's a spam, mate.
Is it?
And if it's not, I apologise, Donsworth.
I don't know. I don't think so. That. Anyway, let's have a look at his schedule then. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. So we know he's got more Saints first week. I think both teams will be happy with that. Because if he'd have gone against someone like Azek first week, we know. Obviously, he'd be able to induce an Apple. But
it wouldn't be nice for him.
It wouldn't be nice for him, would it? Week 2, he ends up against.
You'd be like Azek.
Underground Soul. So he plays Shaky Dog week 2.
Shaky doesn't destroy teams though. It's just not a style of play.
He's got claw and all that, but and then he goes against Dwarf again in week 3. What I know he's really happy about. So he gets me week 3. Donsworth says, "Why would a bot ask you about matchmaking on a dice roll game? Come on, man, fix up."
It's a good point there, mate. I apologise.
So yeah, there you go. You see.
Do you manage to find games on PS4? For Blood Bowl, yeah, depending on what time of day. It's nowhere near as active as the PC, but it's much more active than Xbox.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. So he's got.
And it depends on your TV as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So obviously he gets me week 3. He then runs into the Welsh River Rats in week 4. That should be a fun game. Week 5 he goes against Reptilian People. That's Dragoon, isn't it?
Yep.
Then he goes against the Silver Suns week 6. Oh, lovely. Get in, you'll love that one. And then week 7, after his lovely go with Azek, he ends up finishing off against, where is he? Oh, Tafe Tigers. Oh, Chaos off. Last 2 games of the season. Beautiful.
He'll like his bash-offs.
He loves his bash-offs. I know he likes his bash-offs. He does quite well with them, if I remember correctly.
I think he's actually improved as a coach since having a break and coming back to Blitz.
Yeah, he's done well with Blitz. He's done well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's some good leagues as well. You got MML, what obviously we're part of. That's a big league. You got Blood and Sea as well. They're another big league as well. And they're always very active. And then obviously Sea Ladders is still active as well. So yeah, you're definitely gonna get games. Definitely gonna get.
Depending on your nationality as well, because there's like a French league, there's I think a Spanish league,
a German league.
Yeah, and Polish as well. So.
Yeah, there's a Polish league as well. Yeah, so yeah, it's quite good if you like your private leagues. And Blood Bowl 3 is coming out anyway. Yeah, Blood Bowl 3 is going to come out. We know it's going to be next season. We're not exactly sure. I thought it was something like March, but people are like looking going, really? Now I think it'll be a bit longer than that. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see about it. But all I can tell you is, yes, you can get games on Blood Bowl 2. It's still quite popular. Like I say, if you're looking for a private league, there's plenty of private leagues to play in. So yeah, you get a game definitely. So yeah, so that basically is that for wrong button for Overkill. I think he's going to surprise people. Like I said, he's impressed me in Blitz this season, or the season just gone. So yeah.
And he played Halflings last year in the CL as well. So I think he's kind of relaxed a little bit since coming back because he had the break, didn't he? Yeah. I think he's just relaxing. He's just enjoying the game now.
And that's the thing, just to enjoy the game, isn't it? So. Right, let's have a look at the beaten finalists then, the Silver Suns. I
just realised, mate, have you ever thought it's really amusing that Azek's name's got the word sun in it?
Oh, Suns, yeah. Well, the Silvers, yeah, well, they have a chapter.
Blazing heat.
Blazing heat, yeah. I mean, let's look at Azek then. So basically, this is a really interesting enigma, and he's going to... Well, I don't know if he watches these videos, so we might be all right. But it always impresses me that this guy, in such a short space of time, has got 2 finals. Lost them both to Elves. Seems to can't play against Elves. And he's got another 2 claw pommers. With tackle. He's doing everything he can. He's got tentacle piece as well. He's got a wrestle tackle strength 4 piece. He's got a
stand firm.
He's got stand firm. He's got all this stuff.
I can tell you right now, mate. When you had 3 stand firm or 3 fend, say, or something like that, you're doing it for one specific reason: stop one tennis.
Yeah. So he's got all this.
Yeah.
He's got all this. I mean, I will say this. I thought he was very unlucky in the final in that the heat basically screwed him. Then obviously the blitz as well. So I'm willing to give him a certain amount of I've been there, mate. I get it. I understand it.
There's all right, isn't there? Whether the weather be fine or whether the weather be not.
Yeah. I'll let him have a sort of pass. Although, again, in the final, the first half, I wasn't impressed at all. But with some of these selections and all that, but at the end of the day, if that was just the only game he'd lost, you'd say, oh man, the Silver Suns were really unlucky, this is one of those things. But the problem is, it happened against Gerd, and it happens every time he plays a decent elf coach, he gets beat. When he plays Bash, Claude does his thing, or whatever, he finds a way to win, and it really surprised me how so dominant he is when he plays Bash. But when he plays against elves and rats or whatever, he struggles. And I'll tell you why that is. It's because, in my opinion, and this is only my opinion, positionally and with cages and everything, he does leave the door open. And if you're going to leave the door open against a dwarf coach, then you're going to really struggle against, leaving the door open against an elf coach, a rat coach, because not only will they get the ball loose, they will get the ball. And like you said, they'll throw it and they've gone the other way. So I'm really interested to see how the Silver Suns go. They've had to replace the killer, what I killed for another killer. So it'd be interesting to see if number
Which
one...
you can't kill this year yourself, unfortunately.
I can't kill it this year. I'm devastated with that.
Got one badge, you get it.
Yeah. So
Donsworth, Bernie is a commentator quite a lot. I'm not very often, is the short answer.
Yeah, we do stream a lot. I stream Blitz.
As much as you can, basically.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I mean, work's a bit hectic at the moment, so I've not done as much. But yeah, these are recaps. So the MML...
Hey, clown.
Yeah, clown. The MML season started today, so this is the new season. So what we do a preview. We have a look at all the teams, talk about them, what we think will do well and what doesn't, and then obviously I would imagine some will probably play tonight, and it will be streamed. So there is games to and there is a Discord channel as well if you want to join the Discord channel.
Yeah, you don't actually even need to be playing in the league to join the Discord channel to see what the league's about.
What is our Discord channel? I can't remember. MML what?
There.
Clown's in there. Clown. Give, oh, no,
Clown Zombie.
Yeah.
As an admin, can you put the league's name for Discord in?
Do you know what's going to happen though, don't you? My bot's going to ban him. You know my bot's going to ban him. My bot's a crazy son of a bitch. He'll
just do a spacing on a Clown.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get flagged. Mate, just to really tie up the final thing. The Heat was massive in it, but ultimately the Heat does not decide the game. What decides the game is the fact that he just positioned badly, allowing me to relatively easily get a 2 dice on the ball.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
If I'm playing you, it doesn't matter what the Heat is, I don't get that hit.
No, you're not going to.
If I'm playing Gerd, I don't get that hit. If I'm playing X, Y, Z coaches, I don't get that hit. If I play some of the coaches, I get the hit, and I got the hit on them. And ultimately, that's down to positioning. It's just whether it's positioning first. If he's playing an Orc team, they can't get that hit in. That's why he wins the game. Playing an Elf team, they can't get the hit in, lose the game.
Could there possibly... could it be that obviously with Elf teams and Rat teams, you can decimate them, but because they're so fast, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect them as bad as it would a Dwarf team or an Orc team.
Yeah, there's a definite element to that there. And there's also the element of players quite often, there's an element of players, and what they do is, okay, what would I do now? Okay, I wouldn't do that. Okay. And then you leave it open. Whereas, because I know he plays elves quite a lot, but he's not an elf coach in my opinion, because no elf coach leaves that gap. And bear in mind, it wasn't a rushed thing and all that, it was very well positioned. Okay, this is the way I want my cage. And as an elf coach, I just went, alright, you give me a hit. I'll take it. And that's like an elf coach and not an elf coach. Gerd doesn't give me the hit because Clown doesn't give me the hit because they see it straight away and they go, okay.
Yeah.
So it's just basically a poor positioning and that. This Bash is great.
Yeah, because you see, Bash is slow, so with Bash you can't... And this is why I say when people are, dwarves are so easy, it does my nutting, because when you're against a team that doesn't position them well, I'm not on about Azaki, I'm on about any coach, you can't punish them because you're too slow. So you've sort of got to get in front of the face and try and get it another way. But with elves and rats and that, if someone mispositions, boom, you're in, aren't you? And that's the difference between Bash and agility. Against Bash you can just run us over and he can misposition or he can leave the door open and he won't get punished. But against the fast teams he does, and we've seen it. And that's going to be the big thing. Luckily for him, there's not too many agile teams in this division. But we'll have to see. I think the first game is going to be an interesting one because against Firian, who a lot of people are expecting to finish if not top, definitely in the playoffs, and is a tip for a lot of people to win the title. What would be a very good call. So I'm interested to see how he does that against the Lizards. I think a lot of people expect the Silversons to win that one, so there'll be a bit of pressure on him. But the team's good. I like this team. I look at this team, right, and you know how I play the underdog. You know how I play the underdog card.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you now, I'd be confident I could win a title with this. I think this is. I think I could win a title with this team.
If you give me that team, say we're 2 extra, just unskilled beastmen going into a cladder playoffs, I'd feel like I'd win it.
Yeah. I think either of us should really be confident. I think the team itself, I've got my Pommers. It's all about positioning and respecting the ball when you play against the Elves and the Rats and that. I mean, you might turn around to and say, look, you both talk a lot of crap. I can do it. But to me, the record states otherwise.
Yeah, I'd also like the biggest weakness in the team, ball carriers. He's got one. He's got one ball carrier, and he's been really lucky because the ball carriers, I don't think ever missing a game. And trust me, I've seen him play enough. He gets hits on against that ball carrier. So if he loses the ball carrier, who's moving the ball for him? He's down to like an AG3, no sure hands player.
It'll be interesting to see what he gives the level up on Trotigar. Will he just go straight tackle? Will he go short hands as a backup?
I'd go extra arms.
Would you? Yeah.
I'd go extra arms and try to start building them up.
Yeah, I think that's a good shot. I'd probably go extra arms or short hands, depending on which one you prefer. But at least with extra arms, it gives you a handoff option as well, and obviously it's a two to pick up.
The number 11, when he levels, I'd probably give him the other one. So go extra arms on one, short hands on the other. Okay, I've got two guys. They're not brilliant.
I know he doesn't foul often, but data play is an option. But I don't like data players if you're going to the bench.
I think he basically put a bench up just before going to the playoffs to like 12.
Yeah.
Just because I think he realised, okay, I'm going to play quite bashy teams.
Yeah.
In this, he'll basically run a minimum 11, probably 10 and a loner if he loses somebody.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's excellent. And I don't see any reason why he can't make the final again. You know, he knows how to win. He knows how to get to a final. It's just that extra step. And like I said, I did feel for him in the final. I think heat was a massive thing, as was the blitz. So he can come out and say, look, this is this. I know we can say about position and all that sort of stuff.
I actually quite like the guy. We had moments early on, and then we kind of got past it. And he's actually a nice guy when you talk to him and stuff. And he took the final really well. The loss.
I've always had a pleasant experience with him. I respect him a lot, and I always get tunnel vision when I see coaches so good against one sort of play style, but then seem to struggle in the other one. They always intrigue me, and I can't wait to see what he does.
If that's all you play versus, though, in the really big... If you can get through the season, get to the playoffs, and then he gets, say, Fire Talker, and then he gets, say, you, and then he gets, say...
If he gets bash all the way through, you'd expect him to get there. It's if he gets... He has no problem being bashed. The problem is when he goes against elves or rats. That's going to be the problem. But
I remember, I think it was it Stewie, basically speaking, when he reached the final with his elf team, and I looked at the playoffs once for that, and it was literally all elves or rats the entire playoffs. So it's possible, you know what I mean? There's enough bash teams that you can just get a bash playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it basically was last year besides mine.
Yeah.
Really,
I'll tell you what will be interesting. I think it's well, obviously last season I thought the better coaches were in Europe. Obviously proven by champion, obviously yourself. And I thought the American sort of like that sort of division was easy for him because all bash. That's what he wanted. Yeah. He's coming over now to obviously.
But he did beat Just.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he beat Just. So.
But I wouldn't class
arguably.
I'd class Just as being obviously top dog. You would think there, but what I'm saying is that sort of play pool was built for his sort of style. So you know, it did not surprise me that he dominated that. I thought Jesse could maybe beat him, but no, he got that done. But I'm just thinking now. Obviously, Firion
just did have bad dice in that game, by the way.
Well, we can say it. We can keep going about that. Yeah. But he's against a lot of gun players who are positionally very good. So I can't. Well, he could, I suppose, pitch clear at almost every team. But I don't think Hawkers and Firion and obviously, obviously I don't play him, but it's gonna be. He's not gonna get everything his own way. I don't think this season.
he's also no longer it's that guy who reached the final versus Gerd, and then second season was crap, and then he's having a decent season. It's now it's that guy who reached the final. Oh, it's that guy who reached the final again 2 seasons later. So you get two finals in the 3 seasons. Yeah. It's not a fluke. It's not a fluke.
No, it's not. It's not. And it amazed me when I
I'll be honest, mate. Like, I think for him, his reputation improved based on the game versus you, because he beat you. Everyone knows you're a good coach, and he just beat you. It wasn't like, I thought he had a little bit of luck along the way, blah blah blah, but he just beat you. So you're looking at that game and then going, okay, the guy knows how to play.
I don't know. The way I look at it,
would he beat you in the second game? Yeah. That's up for debate.
The way I look at it is quite simple. If he gets enough casualties, I said if I won if I had won the overtime toss, I would have won. I just think I could have, and I'm never confident. Yeah. I'm never confident. I'm like, I get the ball, I position well with dwarfs, I'll score. That's the way I looked at it, and I thought, if I don't win the toss, with down numbers, with dwarfs, I've had it. And I still got 4 dice on the ball, what I should never have got in a million years. I don't care if you're saying, the recovery wasn't great. I should never have had that, and that's my worry. If dwarfs can get 4 dice on the ball with less players, it's a problem.
I'll put a question in the air for you here. Is this problem playing versus elves or rats or something like that? Or is this problem maybe playing versus people who play risky versus them?
No, I don't think it's that. I just think it's...
Would you take them hits in a normal, like, turn 5? Or are you going to basically send your runner flying around? You're probably not. But in the playoffs, in overtime, okay, I'm risking it. Whereas elves will kind of do the risk because there's a little bit less risk involved in doing it.
I don't know.
So if he actually plays a really risky bash coach, maybe it'll work out bad.
I don't know, I just think he's comfortable the way he plays, and as much as we're saying, this and this, the way he plays gets him to finals, so, it works. It just now needs to win one. That's the only thing. There's a lot of coaches, including myself, who's never got to an MML Pro final. So, what he's doing in such a short space of time, I mean, NTB goes on about he's won 2 titles, and that's great, but look how many seasons it took him to get there. This guy's come in, Isaac's come in, not had many seasons and already been to the finals twice. A lot of, and Beers as well was a great chaos coach. It took him 18 seasons to win one. So you got to look at it in that sort of perspective that this guy's come in with this team and he's got it done, and he's been beaten by 2 very top class coaches, yourself and Gerdley. So Gerdley's regarded as God in MML. So that is no sort of bad thing. So It's not like he's getting beaten by poor players. He's been getting beaten by very good players in games. Could have gone the other way. So let's put in the thing here in that he's a very good coach. He knows how to get to finals. He's been there twice, and I would not put it against him getting to another one and maybe winning it this time, because a lot of these teams in here are bash. If you look
I always say there's always something else as well. You look at his team, and it's completely healthy. And if you look at quite a lot of the good coaches, people who know how to protect the players, they just end up with healthy teams. Gage used to get said about him, oh God, how's his team so healthy? Because he doesn't take stupid hits on it. And I think Isaac doesn't tend to get stupid hits on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a weird, he's a cautious, aggressive bash coach, if that doesn't make sense.
And that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, but I don't know. We'll have to go on because we've been on this guy for so bloody long. It's like an episode of EastEnders, more than Geo. Hopefully, we'll get the American one done later on. Recap.
So Isaac's basically he's going to be really in the mix. Let's face it.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at his schedule, because we've got to see his schedule. Key players obviously the claw pommers and obviously his ball carrier. But let's have a look at the schedule. So he plays reptile heavyweights. That is a mouth-watering clash. That's what I would love to stream myself. I think that's going to be a brilliant game. It's hard to call it. I think the Suns will be classed as favourites for that, but I've seen it so many times.
Claw vs Lizard, isn't it? It's Claw vs Lizard. It's really hard to say.
I'd be trying to take out them skinks as well. They're beautiful. Get them with your pommers. Then week 2 after that, he goes up against the Rats. So it's very different. Well, is it different? It's got the strength of the Lizards, and then he goes up against the Rats. So again, another game people, his positioning and looking after the ball will be challenged. Week 3, he goes against Reptilian People. Now, Reptilian People under Dragoon. Now, he played TAFE Tigers last season, and he broke the TAFE Tigers. Can Dragoon break the Suns? Oof, I don't know. Dragoon's a very improving coach.
I think if Dragoon goes in thinking he's playing versus the Tigers, his team will get destroyed if he plays in the same way, because Badger's not got that many kill pieces. You can kind of isolate them and break them apart.
We was concerned against the Reptilian People, against the Norse of Trippers, and obviously a few other people said, well, you can't do this, you're going to get murdered. If he does that against the Silver Suns, he won't have a team left. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
He just won't, because Silver Suns will be ruined.
What he should do is watch Firian's game versus them, and everything Firian does, to the best of your ability, try to emulate.
Yeah, because Firian's bloody good. He then goes against the Pumas. It'll be interesting to see what Pumas have got left after the first 3 weeks. But again, he's got a chance there, especially with his claw. Then he's got against the Saints. The Saints could be a tricky game, but my concern with the Saints is what you've already said, and is that Saints are very cautious. If the Silver Suns still have all them killers, the Saints might just be like, nah, you're alright, mate, I'm not even going to get anywhere near you, I'm not even going to engage. I hope the Saints basically just say, look, I don't care, go for it, go in there, make him pay for it. But again, the Suns looking good there. Week 6, the Suns against the Beastie Boys. That could be a fun game, depending on who's left. Because I think Overkill will go. He won't show no
balls to the wall for that.
He will. And like we said, week 7's an interesting one. The Silver Suns play the Underground Souls. Again, I look at the Chaos team, Azek's team, like I did Firian. I think both teams are looking at first week thinking that's pretty tricky. But I quite like most of the rest of my matchups.
How did they get on 2 seasons ago?
Who?
Suns versus Underground Souls.
Did the play?
Yep. Yeah, they were both in my pool.
Oh, okay, let's have a look then.
I'm pretty sure they played, aren't I?
Oh, now you say you think they played. Let's have a look.
Underground Souls.
I can't see him. I think you're right.
Wait. Go one more.
One more? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going back a long way. I can't see you. I can't see him. I think you've sold us down the river.
I have. Sorry, mate.
Disgraceful, mate. You know, bloody hell, they've had enough talk about them already, and we're making stuff up about them now. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. But again, I think the Silver Suns looking. I just didn't look good again, to be honest. Unless the other thing I will say is if they lose some of the claw, then they're in trouble.
I do believe one of them teams that you look at and you go.
I think he relies on his claw a lot. I think he relies on his claw a lot still. As good as he is, I think if he lost his claw, you'd be asking him to do stuff he hasn't really shown he can do.
If he lost one of the Chaos Warriors early season, basically, I think even more so than Claw, because he's got the replacement for Claw. If he loses the Chaos Warrior, he loses the ability to control the pitch. As much.
Possibly. I think.
Who's this little noob?
Right then, Dwarfageddon then.
Dwarfageddon.
Apparently Gio loves them but never backs them in Goblin Gambling, always backs them to lose. And I think the only time he did back them to win, we lost.
Mate, doesn't Gio remind you of like a boss at work? Oh, you're doing a fantastic job. I really think you'll do well at your next place. Sorry, we're going to have to let you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I really like Dwarfageddon, not backing them.
Smiling assassin. So yeah, again, it was an alright season. I mean, what people got to remember is this team is quite new. They're not like a long franchise. Again, I feel frustrated last season because
they're quite a short franchise, in fact.
Yeah, sure, yeah. There's only one team I did want to play on and play them. I think if I'd have missed them, I think I'm not saying I would have beat you, but I think racially I had a much better chance against you than I did Azek.
No chance, mate. It was blazing heat.
Yeah, it might not be. Yeah, oh yeah, Josh, yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Business.
You melt down turn one. Oh God,
but the thing is, people don't remember that was my playground in Cowboys. People see, don't forget and have run in the rain and heat and everything. They know how to get it done. People need. I worry about weather. I get that. But don't forget, like, Benny, why are you worried, man? We get it done. Rain, we get it done. Snow, we get it done. Heat, yeah, sunscreen, we get it done, mate. Don't worry about it. What's this freaking blue dome you got? You know we're not going to use it. Where's the money? But no, they don't have a problem. It's the Cowboys who have a problem. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm more worried about I haven't got a bench. I mean, I'm coming into this first game.
Kind of the Cowboys didn't like playing in the sun.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it, right?
Cowboy!
No, Cowboy, baby. But I don't know. Well, I mean, you tell me. I mean, obviously, I lost 2 players against Azek, but I think I saved 1 to an MNG in Philby and Chris, who has a really weak jaw. He always seems to get injured for me. Bearzo's dice well. I gobsmacked he's still alive with the name Bearzo in it. Thermonuclear Palm, obviously, see a lot of players will know where I pinched that. Just for the lols. Bill Scornfist was the guy I signed. Now, he came at a cost because I had to empty my bank, as you can see, 0 money, and I had to get rid of my Blood Guard Blitzer. So I did, you know, it was a big risk. But what do you think? I'll let you go, because obviously it's my team.
Well, I think the transfer is smart because there's a lot of strength 4 in this place. You got all the Chaos teams, all the Lizard teams.
Yep.
Even down to like the Rat team with the Rat Ogre. It just helps.
Yep.
And you got Dauntless, but it's not the same because Dauntless doesn't do anything when you're getting hit. And you've got the Guard to actually maximise the strength 4 as well.
Yeah.
Because basically he's strength 6, effectively whenever you want him to be.
Yeah.
It's healthy. You've got move down on your Troll Slayer. Who cares? Like, literally, who cares? You got another Pommer anyway.
Yep.
You still got 3 Pommers? Yep. I'm not kill team.
I got Claw, mate. I got Claw. I was told if you don't have Claw, you're not kill team. So, you know, that was one. There's 2 reasons I went with Dwarfs. 1 was because of the Dwarf Brothers, and 2, I was riding on when I used to say, well, look, he's got 9 Mighty Blow, and I used to get told, yeah, but he hasn't got no Claw Berry, so he's not a Claw team. So I am really riding that as hard as I can. I mean, I am not a kill team. I only have 8 Mighty Blow from 12 players. That's only like what 75% of my team.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How many? You're 12 players, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've only got 11 tackle, mate. Jesus Christ, you're slacking.
I know. I mean, Ben is
level that runner up. I know what that runner's getting next. The tackle.
They've already, my runners have got tackle already, mate. They've already got it.
Oh, sorry, it's a blitzer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bernie's curse.
Yeah,
that's why he's a curse. He don't know about tackle. Like, the curse of Bernie. It'll be a playoff game. You'll need tackle, and it'll be Bernie's curse who fails you.
Oh dear.
It's you, mate. It's a well put together dwarf team. It's not where you want it to be. You want it to be 2K, and you want it to have another, probably about another 1, 2, at least another 2 tackle. Sorry, at least another 2 tackle. Yeah. At least another 2 guard. I think you want all your Longbeards with guard. You probably want one of your blitzers with guard as well. A bit more mobile. I think you probably want another 1 or 2 stand firm. And then you want stuff like jump up on one of the Troll Slayers. Yeah, he's got it, yeah. And then the dwarfs, there's not much really else you can do with them.
There isn't really, is there?
Yeah, it's Mighty Blow, it's guard, couple of your killers. If you get lucky and you roll a double, okay, I'll give them dodge, why not? And then besides that, you're basically hoping for like a stat up or something like that.
Yeah.
Your runners you can do a little bit more with, but I think both of them only got 1 level left, and it's a long way to go to get it.
Yeah.
Your killers, pretty much leveled up mainly. It's why dwarfs are hated, mate, because they cap out at around like 1900 2k, and you basically got all the skills you need, and then it's just hope for a stat up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously losing the blitzer was a devastating thing, but like you said, I needed strength, and like you said, on my LOS, usually people put loads of strength there, but if I've got, like you said, a guard either side of it, that's me at strength 6. wherever I
that's the
hit.
big guy
So
now.
against Saurus or Crux or just like that, I've got a good chance of manipulating it to best of my knowledge. And obviously, I just want a strength. And looking long term, I'd like to have 2-3 strength 4 pieces. Revang did that really, really well. And that was because they had a lot of high strength. And I think that's the thing what lacks with dwarfs. If you can get the guard in there, I mean, I need more guard. I obviously, like I said, I hated getting rid of the blitz. It was a blood guard, but I just thought the strength would be better. And like I think it was you who said, look, you're going to be blitzing with your blitzers, your troll slayers more than anything else.
Basically.
So, go that way. Like I said, closeout is going to be a problem. Having no bench is a problem. I've got no cash. It is a gamble. I didn't want to kill team first up. I've got one. Let's phrase, I didn't want to go against Claw. Let's say I didn't want to go against Claw because that is the weakness. But it is what it is. You got to play what you got to play.
Bizarrely enough, Badger's a weird one because Badger doesn't play like a kill team, but he just kills lots of players.
He does. I mean, like I said, I've played him so many times in the farm, and he always breaks my players. I've got the Magic Dome obviously for when I'm at home.
I played him on Dark Elves. I think a Dark Elf mirror match, and he killed like 3 players on a fresh Dark Elf team.
Yeah.
I was like, the 2 fresh teams, and he killed my players.
Yeah.
It's Badger. Dark Elves are close.
Yeah, I mean, records 20 wins, 5 draws, 3 losses. First loss was Quad Skull in that shithole of a place in... I can't remember what they call them now, them humans. Obviously, the Dragoon one, I mean, obviously, unless you're Dragoon, you know that one was just like, get my team fit, so I don't even count that one. He played well, but, you know... If I'd have kept my best players on the pitch, the 110 wouldn't have succeeded. And then again,
if the game had anything riding on it, you certainly don't lose it.
I would have been
to be nice.
There's times
you definitely don't lose a regular season game.
No, not like that. I mean,
especially I was like. The thing is, mate, it wasn't like you got like 3 blitzes against you or something like that, where you go, well, it doesn't matter what I did. Nothing really unusual happened in the game. Besides.
I got the level ups I needed, and that was the main thing with the healthy team.
Basically,
again, the Suns are very good, but I don't get to play them this season, so you know that's a bonus.
It's a nice bonus,
you know. So you know, it is what it is. Who do you think's my key player then? I'm gonna say it's Flaming Inferno Pete. I love him to bits. I really should say the Patriot, but Tomahawk Dan's pretty good. I don't know. I don't know who is the best really. I don't know.
I actually think it might be the new guy, mate.
Yeah, I can see that the strength.
Yeah, I've played enough against like Chuffs and Dwarfs.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start adding strength 4 dwarfs into it, it becomes a nightmare. Because all of them, okay, I can position my guard and get 2D on him, 2D on him, and then 2D on him. It doesn't matter anymore because he's got strength 4. I'm basically risking a 1D to actually open up the series of blocks. And that's basically what it is. 9 SP, SVP, and you've immediately then got a guy who can basically just follow your ball, carry you around as you're doing your 3 square advance. And okay, you've got a strength 4 guard piece next to him. It's not nice.
Yeah,
why did that advise you to transfer him?
I'll tell you this. I want more guard. I need guard really quickly. I've only got 4 for the first game. I've only got 5 as it is. So Thermonuclear Pod needs to start getting guard. Obviously, Skullfist from getting strength 4 with guard would be beautiful. Obviously, Benny's Curse.
Yeah, Benny's Curse, probably.
Probably get guard next, I think. I might even try and score with him. I don't know. We'll see.
You've got enough Mighty Blow. You've got Pylon. You've got Tackle. You don't need a 12th tackle player, you know what I mean?
I don't think Bernie's Curse will get tackle. He'll be guard. Mighty Blow, I'm lacking on Mighty Blow, so it might be that.
Leap.
Yeah. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Donsworth. So let's have a look at my schedule then. So I don't really... Yeah, see? Gio, give me the love, that'll mean something when you start tipping my team to win, mate, in the Goblin Gambling. And actually seeing Dwarfageddon on the Goblin Gambling. Yeah, we're very rarely on it. So yeah, we'll believe that when we see it. Not bitter at all. Hashtag Smile Assassin. He knows I'm messing. So yeah, so they got the tape targets first week. Right. Let's have a look at this. Is the positive spin and the not so positive spin. Negative spin. Oh my God, Claw with only 11 players. Positive spin. Thank fuck it wasn't Azek.
Yeah.
That's basically the way I look at that. Week 2 is an interesting one because I get to play against the Pumas. Obviously, these two had an interesting game last season. I don't think there'll be no love lost there. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Geddon are not happy with the cheap shot.
You beat both of them comfortably last season as well.
Yeah. I think we did what we did. But again, the Pumas are such a good thing. Goblin Gambling Week 1 is ready. Oh, we'll have a look in a minute.
Advertising on our channel. Advertising on Bernie's channel.
I won the championship. I'm now taking over Bernie's channel. It's now the Alma I Win Everything channel. Subscribe to me and I'll send you a signature. I
took it over through the back door.
Week 3, I've got the Beastie Boys. I'm no overkill. Can't wait for that. So that's 2 close teams out the first 3. Jesus Christ. Does it get any better for me? Does it bollocks? Week 4, Dragoon will be claiming he can beat me again, and he may do. This time, I will bring everything.
The images of the lizards make it look like they've got closer than a claw team.
They should though, shouldn't they? I always thought lizards should have claw.
Yeah.
They should have. It's ridiculous. I mean, I know the BOP, but, they should have. I mean, same with Orc. It's like with the Orc Blitzers. They have these big fake claws, but they look like they've got claws. They never have them.
Why is the 32 lizard teams in pro?
Yeah. So I've got Reptilian people in week 4.
Goblin.
So Lizards week 4, guess what? Lizards week 5 as well. So I go Lizards. I hate playing Lizards with Dwarfs. They have all that strength and I don't. That's hence one of the reasons why I bring the strength 4 piece in.
Okay. First 4 games of the season, I don't think you're unhappy. Besides, obviously, the claw. I think if you go, okay, you got first game Badger, then you got Discos Humans, then you've got Overkill, then you've got what's his face, Dragoon. I think you're looking at them going, okay, I've got my head switched on and blah 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 blah. 4 manageable games there.
Yep.
Then week 5.
Then we're hoping Nazek did a number on. Just a heavyweight to play in week 4. Probably not killed today. They'll probably. Oh, okay. I tape taggers. So okay, they might help me out there maybe. So week 5 I've got the heavyweights who are amazing.
Yeah,
as we know.
That's a big game.
And then week 6 I've got Model Saint. So it'll be interesting what they have. But then week 7, me and Hawker yet again clash.
I think week 6 is a good one for both you and Firian because I think it's one of them.
Okay,
who have we got next week? Okay, we can go balls out versus each other because we've got the recovery game for missing a couple of players that we think we can probably handle without a couple.
Yeah. So week 7's Hawker. Me and Hawker, we usually quite close games. I think we played twice. I've won 1, drawn 1 against him. Could go either way though.
You both know you're good players. There's a cautiousness there when you play each other because you're both aware that you can beat each other. If that makes sense. Neither of you looking and going, "Oh, that's an easy game." Yeah. It depends what's on it for both.
It depends what's on it for both of us. Like obviously last season with me with obviously the Lizard team, but also as well how healthy our teams are.
If either of you have qualified by that, it could be a really easy game for whoever's not qualified because. I know Hawker well enough that you'll be like, well, why am I going to risk breaking the team? I'm already qualified.
Maybe.
I know you well enough to know that you're going to be like, he's got that claw. Okay, I'll just sit off. I'll let him hit that unskilled long beard and boomer.
Yeah. I mean, I tried it last season against Dragoon and I admittedly regretted it. But
Hawker's not going to trash talk you after it, mate.
No, it's not that. It's just I always play to win, so it's a bit weird trying to play to level than win, if that makes sense. I think if somebody else was relying on me, then obviously it would have been a no-brainer. But I think this season, with what went on with cheap shots and my masculinity questioned as well, I'm still mind blown over that one. I never thought I'm a masculinity. Challenging
mate, if you get the nickname going around the internet that you call Backdoor Bernie, what do you expect? Get masculinity questioned.
Why?
Unless you know the context of it, it can be misconstrued.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think this season you're going to see ruthless.
That's why I moved west.
I think
Bernie's like, I'm going to destroy everyone.
I think this season
they need somebody to go play in America.
Yeah, I think this season. I mean, if the dice don't go my way, then I'm going to get my ass kicked. We know that. But I think this season, I'm going to play the MML spirit like I always do. But I will not be giving... Oh, I'm not going to hit there because I feel bad. I'm going to just drive teams into the ground unless I respect that coach and unless that coach has turned on to me and said, time out, I'm done. If they do, then I will. But if they don't, I'm going to play to the whistle because I am fed up of losing players and getting injuries like a movement on the Troll Slayer when I'm trying to show mercy and it blows in my face. So I am going to say we're going to win it. I am going to say we're going to finish top. But I'll tell you, one thing I will guarantee you now: we will not be showing mercy.
Play to the whistle.
Play to the whistle because I've lost too many players. Not, I can't be doing it anymore. So. Yeah, I think you'll see a different Dwarf again in this season. I think they're pissed, and hopefully they'll be able to.
The Dwarves, mate, they probably literally are drunk.
Hammered. Bernie the Merciless. I usually let off quite early if I'm on a roll.
I've just imagined you with like taped back eyes, like the guy in Flash Gordon, Ming the Merciless.
Yeah.
Benny's shaving his head as we speak before the season, growing a beard.
Bring back his body. So yeah. Anyway,
which would be quite amusing if you actually ever play serious desk. You've got like a golem called Flash Gordon.
Yeah, absolutely. Right then.
Benny the Merciless and Flash Gordon.
Right, Reptilian people, the final team. I love these pre-caps. I'm like, do it to about an hour. 2 hours, 20 minutes left. We've still got one to go. I'm blaming Elmer. Refs can go and suck my... You can put whatever else you want in there. Right, Reptilian people then. Dragoon. I mean refs in like refs on the game, not refs them. Reptilian people.
Yeah.
1 player missing first game. 5 Saurus, 1 Croxigo, 4 Skink.
Yeah.
Not bad. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Has he lost anything this season? I don't think he did he? I mean, he's got a MNG.
No, I don't think he did. Is it missing this game or niggle?
I don't. I think it's just an MNG. I think I killed it and then his Apo MNG'd. Or I killed somebody and the Apo saved. I can't believe it. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's just missing this game.
So
it still to me looks kind of raw. It just doesn't look developed the way. It's 3rd season with them or 4th season with them.
I think he's got the same amount of time as I have. I think we're both in the
24 games.
24 games.
Yeah.
So what did I do? Hang on, I did farm challenge. Yeah, probably about the same. So he's doing well with them. He's improving all the time. Beat my team last game of the season. No matter what we say, he still won. And I was impressed with some of the stuff he did that game. I've been impressed where what I like about Dragoon is sometimes he makes a bad mistake, but then he changes it. He got a transfer from Firion, I think.
Right, here's what I'm saying. Transfer from Firion will be Max.
The break tackle. No.
Or would it be Fritz?
I think it's Pwag. I think it's number 7. Pwag of... I can't remember.
No, from Bezo. From Bezo, Firion just said.
Yeah, but it's not number... Max was in last season.
Was it...
Wasn't 7.
Max a transfer from Bezo last season as well?
It might have been, but number 7 was the new guy. I'm sure number 7's the new guy.
Max and... Yeah.
I think that is the guy.
Max was from Bezo last season. Almost certain on it. You just need a bit more development on the Saurus. His skinks are... You can see what he's trying to do. He's basically, I think, trying to do what Firion's done with them, i.e. DT, then block, and then probably sidestep. But it's really hard to do it in League unless you're very good, because your skinks tend to die if you're not.
I
the
think...
Saurus are just... It seems got a little bit... It's a team in development. It's basically a 1700-odd team, isn't it?
When it gets to Saurus back, it's 1780, isn't it? I think. Must be Fritz from Paladocus.
Yeah,
you saying Fritz, is it? I can't remember. It's number 7.
It was... he got it from Paladocus, because I remember them doing a transfer.
I can't remember. Okay, either way. Which is Brunner in.
Yeah, but if you look at it, what that means is both Max and Fritz, the 2 break tackle ones he's got off of the Lizard coaches teams, he's not developed the break tackle on himself, which means he's kind of going, oh, I need to add this, I need to add that, and he's transferring in the break tackle, whereas I'm pretty sure the likes of like Firian and stuff like that, and Paliadokis, they actually developed their break tackle services because they realised it was an important part, and I think it goes to what we were saying, he's still learning.
Yeah.
He's still learning. He's not like a long time lizard coach or anything like that, so he's basically learning how to build a team, which is not a bad thing. But if you think about it, what's the TV? 1780.
Yeah. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1780. His team's 10 TV difference to Firian.
Yeah.
Which one do you want?
Yeah, I mean, number 13 is the key player for me. I mean, obviously, he's basically one movement and he can score. He's got to keep him fit. If he does, I think he's improving all the time. I can see Dragoon having a good season. I'll have to look at his schedule because I haven't seen that yet. But I think this is another one of those what people might write off, but I can see him getting 3-4 wins. Depending on his schedule, what I'm going to have a look in a minute.
He did okay last season, but I think, oh god,
when things went well, he bloody did well. But when things didn't go well, he didn't change. You know, when the tide was going his way, he won. But when the tide went against him, he couldn't manipulate that and turn the tide. If that makes sense.
He couldn't pull it out.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. I think overall, there's less teams this year, but I think this season. But I think it's actually stronger this season.
Maybe.
I think it is, mate. Yeah.
Even with you not here, the champ.
I'm talking about West and East combined.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I don't think we lost that many of the top level coaches, or teams. But of the lower level teams is the easier way to say it rather than coaches, because sometimes you can have a good coach with a crap team, you know what I mean? And then we've added a couple of like returnees, and I think Firian adds hugely to it because that was one of the ones where like I'm like, okay, who do I think should be the playoff? That pretty much between this teams. And he's immediately into that mix.
Yeah. I mean, I just think he'll do all right. I mean, let's have a look at his schedule. So first off, he starts with Hawker. That's going to be an interesting one because if his Mighty Blow starts hitting pretty quick, he's got a chance. And also, you know, the way I look at it as well, he's got a one-turner. Same as when I say one-turn, one. He needs one push, doesn't he, in the both side steppers. So this could be a high-scoring game. If I can see Dragoon probably having no issue scoring early, and then it's on Hawker. Does he want to try and do what he can get in trouble for instead of just going for the score? He sometimes likes to mess about, doesn't he, at the back, or try and screen off, and then he gets a bad dice and puts himself in trouble.
Yeah, but here's the thing, mate. You can imagine Hawker just messing around, and Dragoon's constantly like
chasing him.
Yeah, I get funnied around by him, so to speak, and just second guessing it. In other words, just like outgaming him, so to speak. But if you actually watched my clan game yesterday and all that, I was doing something similar, double one on a handoff. Okay, that's bugging everything up because double ones happen. And that's what me and Hawker neither was kind of really factored in, the fact that there's ones on D6s, and if you roll a one on one, you can roll a one on the next one as well, and then all the fanny around just looks stupid.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, just before I go any further, I've just had a look at the 2 pro games for Goblin Gambling week 1. I'll be honest, last season I thought there was a lot of like what could be like the lower games, what didn't have much on the line. And a lot of times you weren't sure if one team was going to turn up or not, but full credit to Gio this season. The 2 he's picked is Blue Bamba versus Hopeless Necromantics, but it's a top tier game, obviously, in the American pool, and Reptile Heavyweights versus Silver Suns in this play pool. So, that's what I want to see. I mean, you want everybody to have a go on it, but I want to see these big games. Like in American football, they have the big game maybe on a Monday. So, that's why I want to say. I'm hoping this season we'll see Goblin Gambling pick the big game of the week more times than not. So that's going to be
I would never say that they're the best 4 coaches because we're not. But what I think they are, I think this is the top two matchups. It's like Liverpool are playing Burnley, or Man City are playing Man United.
Yeah.
Liverpool are a better team than either of them, but it doesn't matter. That's a better game, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm quite happy about that. So let's have a look at the.
Good pick there, Gio, mate.
Yeah. I
never got featured once on them last year as well.
No, I think he was trying to save the teams he thought was going to go to the playoffs, but I don't know.
But does that mean you don't think I'm getting there this year, Gio? The Gio curse.
So he's got the Hawker Fest week, second week. Oh, this is a beautiful one. It could be quite good for him because he plays the Reptile Heavyweights. Now, both these teams are against Claw, but obviously with Azek, he could, if he does a number on Firion, I think Dragoon's good enough to get a result there.
Nah.
I think he is. I
like Dragoon, mate, but I think Firion will be battering his head against the table if he loses it or loses it off.
Maybe that could be a good Goblin Gambling game week 2, a Reptile off. I don't know. I think it depends who comes healthy.
Dragoon's improving, mate, but he's improving up a long hill towards where Firion is sitting.
Yeah.
Smoking his nice skink cigar, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? That would be huge if he managed to beat him.
I think in Bloodbowl you've always got a chance. I think we proved it last season, and I don't know. I think it might come down to who's healthy. It'd
be like a new rat coach beating Gerd, as an example.
I don't think it goes that big. I don't know. We'll see. I'm usually wrong anyway. So hey, who cares?
Who are you tipping, mate? Who are you tipping?
By the way, week 3. Oh, he's gonna love this, is Dragoon. The Silver Suns. Now, I don't know how Dragoon will look at this, because I think he'll be thinking, you know what? I was worried about the TIFF Tigers, and guess what? I whooped their butt. MMG broke 2 of his claw pieces, or killed one, I can't remember what he did. But he's like, you know what? If we can do it to the TIFF Tigers, we can do it to the Silver Suns. So, bring it on, I think. I
can imagine that, mate, right? And if he goes in with that impression, it'll be like, like the troops on D-Day coming into the beach and like, water's quite nice, quite calm, we're looking forward to this, we're going to the beach. And then you jump in the water and you start charging and go, what the bloody hell's happening? I think that'll be basically the Azek game if he actually goes in and goes head on versus them. It won't be pretty.
The thing is, though, if the Silver Suns have got a missing claw, I don't know. I'm not totally on the Dragoon train, but I'm trying to explain that I think this season, if people think they're going to get an easy game, he's going to beat them. I'm going to say that.
I don't think it'll be an easy game. I'm just thinking...
if Claw Rex is in trouble, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and Azek knows how to use it. You don't win that many bash games unless you position your claw well and you don't get it removed very easily. Yeah. And I don't see him going in with less than 1 or 2, and 1 or 2 can rip a lizard team apart if you know how to use it.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
It's just a hard game for him.
Yeah, totally. We totally respect what you do, Gio, and we know he's challenging last season. I think it's just more like a bit of a, I don't know if it's critique, just an idea that usually to pump it up, if you get the big game of the week, more people are going to be like, wow, yeah, that's because that's the game they're probably going to get streamed, and that's the game people are wanting to watch even on Cabal. But yeah, obviously you want to try and get every team involved. But I always think with so many good coaches, there's always going to be 1 or 2 big games of the week. And obviously as it goes through the season, they could change, obviously fight for the top and stuff like that.
I'll be entirely honest. My opinion is, while it's nice to include every single team getting shown at least once in it, it's not actually the most important. Because if you actually look at like the football, Gio, right, and I know you're from South America or Latin America, South America, I think, right. But if you look at the Premiership getting shown in Britain, the football, I can tell you right now, I'm a huge Everton fan. Everton don't get shown that much on television. Why? Because everyone wants to see Man United and Man City and blah, blah, blah. And I actually have no problem at all if my team didn't get featured because all the matches that it was involved in were crap. And, like, say, Jest's team got shown, like, 3 times because it's much more entertaining because you're playing this team, that team, and that team. And I think what you just do is you just look at it and you pick the best games.
Yeah.
Regardless of who it is.
Either way, it's still fun. I just sometimes, let's say, they'll scratch my going, which team really wants to win this because they've got nothing to play for.
Because otherwise you're actually going out your way to make sure everybody's featured when a lot of them don't actually bother with gambling.
Yeah, that is a very good point. That is very. I think
They bloody are for Ian, mate.
Yeah.
In Carlo we trust.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going for a record on this recap. What did we say? Week 3.
That was when me, you and Jess were doing something, mate, and we spent an hour and a half talking before we switched it on.
It feels like I'm with Jess, because even me and Jess, like we've been, this is challenging even me and what Jess do. Right, week 4. So after all that, he goes up against Safe Tigers. So let me just go through them 4 first games. So he gets Rats who have Claw. He then goes against Reptilian Heavyweight, who you and everyone else might think they'll just steamroll him. Week 3 he then goes against Azek. Week 4 he then goes up against Tape Tigers. And week 5 he goes up against the Beastie Boys. That's another Claw team. Week 6 he goes up against... is that right? I thought I played him this season. Is it just Fury now player? Oh no, I got it wrong. So
no, you do play.
Yeah. So let me get this wrong. I've got it wrong somewhere. So let me go. I'll retrace stuff. So he's got the Reds week 1. What's Claw? Week 2 is against the Silver. Oh no, not against Silver. Where the fuck have I gone wrong here? Oh wait, week 2 he's got Firion.
Have you been drinking, Bernie?
I have. It's that bloody
what's in that cherry coke?
Yeah, it's got no sugar. It's got the stuff in. Week 3 it's the Silver Suns. Week 4 it's the Dwarfageddon. Week 5 it's the Beastie Boys. Week 6 it's Underground Souls. And then he finishes off with a nice game against the Pumas. So 5 of them teams have Claw. So he's got 4 teams got Claw. No, he's got a lot of Claw he's played against. Dwarfageddon don't have Claw, but they do have problems.
Season 25, the rebuild season.
It could be if it goes wrong.
It could be, yeah.
There's 4 Claw teams he places. He's then against the Lizard team with a lot of Mighty Blow. He's got a Dwarf team with Mighty Blow piling on a lot of tackle. And it's only the last game of the season does he get a break from it against the Pumas. But the question is, what will be left of the Lizards?
Just go and juice a chainsaw just to make him feel at home.
yeah, bzong, off you go. So that isn't an easy schedule for him.
Who's he miss also?
He's missing out on Tafe Tigers, so he's missing Life 1 Claw, and the Dark Elves.
Yeah.
What'll be a shame for him, because I think him and Donut are good mates as well, so I think he'll be gutted he's not playing him, but you know, he'll be happy he's playing him.
It is what it is. When you've got like the imbalanced pool, you always like lose a game, you know what I mean? I really wanted to see you play Azek again. Well,
yeah, because everybody will see the team destroyed, but there's enough teams there what can destroy me.
Nah, it's not to do that, mate. It's just to do with the fact that I know it's going to be a top level game.
Well, yeah, it's going to be. Well, I think there's going to be some good ones. I mean, me and Ferry, and I think that'll be a big game.
Yeah, definitely.
Me and Hawker, always good. I
wanted to see Finian you play, and I wanted to see you play Azek purely because it was a really good game last year, and I kind of know when you've been beaten by somebody that you kind of go, all right, yeah, okay, we'll see. You try to beat me twice.
Right,
but there's a good chance you could play them again.
Again,
you never know, because
I just try my best, and if that's why I think against the game against Dragoon. I did.
Yeah.
I did feel comfortable. So this is what I'm saying. I obviously my team will play in the MML spirit. They always have done, and I take great pride of that. But obviously ruthlessness, we'll play to the whistle. We aren't going to go and try and destroy teams like some teams do. But we'll play enough until I know my players are safe. Or
I'm going to say, mate, you're eventually going to have one of them games where you do the mic drop moments in a game. You're like, right, bah. So. Drop the mic. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm out there. Anyway, there's all the teams. So I'm going to ask you two things.
I'll get my sanction. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'll take a card if need be. But I hope not. I quite like the MML spirit. I try and do my best in that, and I've not been in trouble.
You always do, in my opinion. Anyway.
Right. So, bold prediction. So basically, you've got to give me a bold prediction. Something what nobody else is going to see. Something where you're going to go, what? And it obviously comes off. So. My bold prediction was to do with Dragoon, but now I've seen that schedule, I'm a bit more worried.
Okay. I don't know if it's a bold prediction. My bold prediction is... I don't know if it's a bold prediction. There's 2 of them. Azek doesn't make playoffs.
Oh, that's bold.
And Firion doesn't lose a game. I don't know if that's very bold.
I like the Azek one. I think we'll go with that one. That's really bold.
Yeah. I don't think Azek will make playoffs.
Wow, man, that's a bold prediction. Oh God, you've got me now. I'm like, I would do something with Dragoon, but I don't know. I'd have to see his schedule. Like, damn, man, I had him down as to have a good season.
Don't go with your heart, go with your head.
Oh, yeah, I like going with my heart. Oh, man. Okay, here's a bold prediction for this. Is as bold as you're going to get. My bold prediction is TIFF Tigers will have a winning season this season.
They had a winning season last season, mate. It's not that bold.
Yeah,
They
it's
had a winning
bold.
season last season.
God damn it, man! Alright, bloody...
It's like,
people.
my bold prediction, Borderlander will make playoffs.
Yeah, but that's a good prediction. You say that, but look at his bloody record. His record's bloody lost how many bloody games? Bloody hell, he's lost 59 games and won 21.
So your bold prediction is he will do as well as he did last season.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't mean... Alright, okay. Alright.
You forgot that, didn't you, mate?
I still think that's a bloody good prediction for... I tell you what, I can't wait to hear our top 3. Let's see if you've got TIFF Tigers in your top 3. Alright then, I'll go with my original one then. Dragoon will have... It'll win 3 or more games. It'll get at least... Is it 500% win ratio or whatever?
Yeah.
He'll have a winning or whatever season. He won't have a losing season. I should have just said that. Dragoon will not have a losing season. And I also think he'll get a result against Firion. Is that bold enough for everybody?
Whoa, yeah, that is a bold one.
Yeah, you happy with that? You happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah. Dragoon will not lose to Firion. There you go. That's the other thing. Right, that's my bold position. I've probably just cursed Dragoon. Sorry about that. Blame Alma. Tried to get away with TIFF Tigers. Right, so this is the serious part. Now, usually this is where I say, Alma, we know you're going to win it, but you can't pick yourself. But you're not even here this season.
I'm still thinking about picking myself, mate.
He's undefeated in this season.
What'll happen? We'll have a West Coast wanting to come back, and 3 East coaches will drop out, and I'll have to transfer it over to fill the East spot.
Oh, you'll love it.
Bold prediction.
Right, who comes third then? Come on, who's getting that third place?
Third.
Who's going to sneak in?
Okay, third Shaky.
Oh, yeah, I like Shaky this season. I like Shaky. I hate this bit because I can never make my... obviously, I'm not going to pick myself, so that narrows that down. I don't really want to agree with you, though. That's the problem.
If you're thinking, mate, I agree. There's no point being controversial for the point of it.
What, me? Controversial for the point of it? Surely not. I've got it down to 4 teams. That's the problem I've got. It's which team I missed out on.
I had it down to 5 initially.
Did you? Well, I would if I was picking myself.
That's why my bold prediction was Isaac missing out.
Yeah.
I have to basically add 5. Okay, that's my top 3.
Do I just go totally left field and pick Dragoon?
I will be asking what's in that Pepsi.
Oh man, yeah, third place. We're telling people Dragoon will shock the world and get third place. Damn, this Coke's nice. I'm gonna get some more.
Okay. Is it Irish or Scottish Coke?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's good shit. I'm all in on my bold prediction. He's going to get it done. Like the postman, he will deliver.
Okay.
Oh man, it can't be as worse as thingy last season who predicted, didn't I? The Oak team, Zidji. It can't be as worse as that. So, second place then, mate. Come on, put me out of my misery. Who are you going with second?
He's big, he's bad, he likes the back door. I'm going for Benny.
Oh, that's nice of you. Clearly, I'm going to agree with you because I'm not picking myself. Oh, this is a tough one. Oh man, I'm gonna. Oh god, shit! I really fucked myself over now picking reptilian people, haven't I?
You have, mate. I've narrowed it down to 4 teams. I'll put one of the top 3 as one of them teams that I hadn't narrowed it down to.
Oh god. I'm just thinking he plays. Players against that. Do I trust him enough for first place? That's what I've got to ask.
Oh, okay.
Oh god, I'm on the fence with Azek here. I hate this part because I'm so indecisive.
I know.
You just know what you're gonna do.
No, it's like a conversation between me and my wife. What's one to order in food-wise? Oh, I don't know. Maybe Italian. Oh, I fancy Chinese. What Chinese do you want? Well, that Thai place. Like what?
See, the way my brain's working is, I know Hulk is good enough to get in the 3, but I'm worried that he lost to the Tigers last season. I can't see the Silver Suns being out of the 3, but there's enough teams here what could punish him if he doesn't get it done, and if he loses players, he might not make it, like you said. February, I expect to get there, but where does he come first or second? Spoil that. And then you got Shaky, who I regard as definitely top tier in this. But again, he's Underworld, so you know Underworld can be hit and miss. So I am going to go with second place. I am going to go with the Firion. Reptile Heavyweight.
Oh, controversial, mate.
I like to be controversial. Who wins it then? Come on, clever smartass. Who wins the bloody division?
Firion.
Yeah, only good enough to get second. Totally. The winner of the league is Azek. The Silver Suns will get it done. They like the bash. I can see them chewing through them lizards week 1. They won't, but I just think it sounds good. I just don't think there's enough here. The only way I see the Silver Suns not winning this division is if they lose
if they lose too many games.
Yeah, there's that as well. But if they lose the claw, they're in deep trouble. But I can see, like in Sea Ladder, where I'm not saying no one will concede in this division, but when people spin, they see kill team like, oh my god, win away, and they don't play the natural game. I think there's enough here. There's definitely enough coaches here what he might be able to scare off. And if he does, he'll get free.
I don't know if there is, mate.
I don't know. I'm trying to be controversial.
Well, yeah, but look at them coaches. Firion's not going to be scared by Claw.
We don't know, do we? We don't know. You said to me at the beginning.
Yeah, we do.
If Firion has
yes,
a bad
we do,
start,
mate. Yes, we do. Because he's played Claw teams and he doesn't play scared of it.
Yeah, but you know what happened to him with Ran the Mad? Ran the Mad was nowhere near as scary as...
Yeah, what happened the next game? He played the final and he still
played. Yeah, he lost.
Okay, yeah.
I think Firion is he's so confident that
here's the question. What was Rand's team was thingy, wasn't it?
Nagel,
yeah. Do you think Rand or Beers are worse players than Azek?
I would take
worse
Azek.
Coaches.
I would take Azek over them two.
Would you?
Yep.
Over Beers?
Yep. I love Beers to death, but I think Azek, in the short space of time, he has done more than most of us. I think
interesting.
I just think
I don't think there's much between them, but
well, you didn't ask me that. You asked me which one. I look at on what they've done, and in the MML, Azek has done more. Now you can quite easily flip that and say Beers is a pro champion. So I totally agree with that. But obviously, you got to look at how many seasons it took them to get that. If you give Azek the same amount of seasons as an NTB or a Beers or anyone else, I would be surprised if he doesn't win one of them.
Okay, if you give Firion 5 seasons, which I think he had, and you can name the number of teams that have beaten him on one hand.
It's class. It's class. If you tell me to pick the winner, I would more likely go with obviously Firion over Azek, but I just think the way the play pool is, I think
these are the racial matchups. Azek.
Firion to me is there's an argument to say he's the best coach in the division, and people wouldn't disagree with that. So I just think if Azek gets it done the first week, and Firion has a bad, like Hawker did against that Nagel team, then even though Firion is a great coach, he may struggle. He'll still probably make the playoffs, but he might not get first place.
Here's the spin to it. Firion goes out there, doesn't lose much, beats Azek 2-0. What's that do to Azek's season?
I don't think. You know what? I don't think he'll bother Azek. I just think. I'm
not sure, mate.
I think Azek, he'll just play it. He'll just play it as it goes along. I think both coaches.
He's had 3 previous pro seasons, and the start of the seasons dictated the season.
I don't know. I don't think much.
I think if he starts well, he does well. I think if he starts he struggles.
You can say that in a lot. You can say that in a lot of sports. You get off to a good start. Usually, you end up with a good season. If you're playing catch up for most season, it's a struggle. You know, if I had to put my house on a team just to make the playoffs, then I'd be on Firion because I think that's a safe bet. But I'm trying to think of...
It's what he does.
Yeah, it's what he does. His record speaks for itself. But, you know, I think the matchups and the way it could go, Azek could get it done. But obviously, if Firion beats Azek in week 1, you'd expect Firion to probably win the table. You know, top the table. But as I've always said, and obviously it helped you last season because of changes slightly, I always think you've just got to make the playoffs. That's, you know, if you come first, second, third, you've still got the same amount of chance in the playoffs. So that's what teams should be gunning for. You know, and it's going to be good. I think there's a lot of good teams, but you've heard it here first. Reptilian people will not lose to Firion.
I think while the Goblin games are good and stuff like that, they can skew it a bit because you look at them.
You vote for what you want to happen. I want these to win.
No, I'm not talking about Goblin gambling. I'm talking about the Goblin teams.
All right.
But basically, when the Goblin teams are in there, because you're actually looking and going, okay, well, unless something weird happens, it should be the win for the team who's playing them. You remove them and the more even matchup, so to speak. There isn't that game that you go, oh god, I'll be kicking myself if I don't win it. Because you look at all the games and they're all losable. Because, yeah, especially, there's a lot of claw in this division. Actually, there's a lot of teams with claw, but there's not a lot of claw. There's a lot of claws in Azek's team and probably Badgers. But I don't think... I don't think... I think Overkill's got... Yeah, but two's not a lot of claw, mate. If you got a team
it seems to be when I have bloody 2. I'm a kill team and I have 2 claws. Don't know where you're getting that from.
Yeah, two mighty blow isn't a lot of mighty blow, you know what I mean? Or two pylon isn't like, oh, your team's stacked with pylon.
But
that'd be 3. That would be 3. Yeah, but you can say that about anything, mate. Yeah. I've had teams wrecked by one mighty blow player because mighty blow works. One dirty player who doesn't get sent off. My team's decimated. Same with claw. I'm playing chaos quite a bit at the moment. I'm playing with claw and I'm scared of claw. You know what I mean? And sometimes it just doesn't fire, or it fires and your team's perfectly healthy the next game, even so, because it's all badly hurt or whatever, or knockouts. Claw won't determine whether Essex wins the division. What will determine it is if he makes mistakes versus the better coaches and gets punished.
I get that, but I still think if Claw fires, he wins the division. If Claw doesn't fire, he won't win the division. I'm pretty adamant on that.
If Claw doesn't fire, he cannot win the division, I would say. If Claw fires, he can win the division.
I tell you what, if he was to lose like, I don't know, 1-2 Claw pieces first game, and he didn't rely on Claw, and he still won the division, I would think that would send a message to everybody. I think that would say, look, I'm more than just a Claw coach. I think he is more than a Claw coach. I think, you know, he is a very good coach, and that's why I've tipped him ahead of Firion. I think he'll get it done. But we both know that, you know, and this is why I was really surprised when I looked at Goblin Gambling. I know it's not everybody, but I didn't see Azek's name in there. I mean, this guy's got to 2 finals. He's got one of the best healthy teams. He's got the firepower, but nobody picked him, and I was really surprised at that. This guy has proven that he can get to the big, you know, the big final. You know, and he's lost to 2 very good coaches. So, you know, I'm
true.
Surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I think I actually pointed that out, and I'm surprised nobody's actually tipped Azek. Because like also the 2 finals in 3 seasons.
That's good going, mate. That's good. Yeah. I mean, it's gutting you don't win one, but crikey, you know, it's still, you know, some of us haven't even got to one, so you know.
Yeah, and like even if you go like, okay, the problem is elves. Okay, a lot of the coaches aren't tipping me, and they're not tipping Azek as well. Okay, well, if you don't think Azek will win it because you can't beat elves, then you tip Amber. Otherwise, you tip whoever's actually going to think.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're saying, okay, if he plays Bernie will beat him.
I mean, you've got more.
Stop killing your brother.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Unless you got my Blood Claw. So you've got more Saints, and you've got obviously your team. I mean, there's no more elves, is there? There's only 2 elf teams and a rat team.
Basically,
that's it.
My other Saints mine are the 1 rat, 2 lizards, but you're not going to ever call a lizard an agility team, or really.
The other thing as well for the Silver Suns,
control, aren't they?
The Silver Suns don't play against Dwarfageddon. Obviously, Dwarfgeddon, although they beat Dwarfgeddon, Dwarfgeddon did do damage to the Suns, and they had to replace the killer.
Yeah.
And they don't play Tape Tigers as well, who we know can do damage. So that's two potential very dangerous teams that could do a serious dent to that Chaos team he does not have to play. So I think the schedule works out very well for him as well. So I think the Suns have got... I'll be surprised if the Suns don't make the 3. I really will. And I'll be surprised if Freeman doesn't make the 3. I think the other spot is up for grabs. But it's Blood Bowl. After week 1, a team could be decimated. It could be my team decimated. It could be Reptile Heavyweights. It could be anyone. You just don't know. It's Blood Bowl.
The thing is, like, you're looking at going like, oh god, Finian's team could decimate it because of all that clone and all that. But really speaking, I've played Chaos enough. Finian could retire as X-Team if the mighty Blowfires.
He certainly could.
Jesus Christ, the worst game I've ever had as far as like Chaos, because we're talking about Azek. Worst Chaos game I've ever had. Based a relatively fresh Necro team with 1 claw and mighty Blowwolf, and it basically just destroyed my team. I was like,
it's a dice game at the end of the day.
It's a dice game, yeah.
So we can only just guess. We just hype it up as best we can. But that's it then. Like I said, if someone wants to do the American side today, I am available. Let me know. It would be nice to get some like Geo on. But yeah, there we go then. So that is our predictions. Dragoon, do not let me down and make me look like an idiot like I was last season. I was going to get consistent. I think we both agree that Furion will probably make it. But you know what? No Azek for the playoffs. You know what? I'd be happy with that, mate. If I make them, I'd be happy to see no kill team like that. So I hope you're right, mate.
And if you want to get revenge for me for saying that, I'll see you in the playoffs, mate.
Anyway, that's just done. Thanks for everybody. And obviously, if you've just joined us, it will be on my YouTube channel very shortly, so you can go back and watch it. Thanks to Alma as always. Thanks for Fury earlier on as well for popping on. And
Alex, do you want to say bye? Packer. That's my son saying bye.
I think that's something like Daddy's. That sounds like Daddy's going to win it again. That's what I think.
Is Daddy going to win it?
There you go. That's it. He's grounded. No sweets for him.
Who's going to win it?
No, Daddy.
Is Papa going to win it?
Daddy.
Daddy.
I don't know. There you go. I don't know.
That means give. Dyer's give in Russian, basically.
Yeah, basically, give me some money, give me some money and we'll let you. Thanks, Joe. Anyway, that's just done then. Thanks again for everybody, and we'll see you later on for the next show. Bye-bye.